This is a public service announcement. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are for comedy purposes only and should not be taken seriously. The Never a Straight Answer podcast advised that the information covered in the show should not be used for educational purposes, nor as a guide for carrying out such crimes linked to the subject matter of the episode, no matter how fucking awesome it is. Gaz and Taylor do not take responsibility for the following: UFO encounters or possible linked abductions, committing or being a victim of serial murder, falling down conspiracy rabbit holes, fits of psychotic rage, anger or confusion, or going postal on friends, family or co-workers. The boys advise the use of THC or edibles when subjected to the Never a Straight Answer podcast. We hope you enjoy the show. Hello and welcome to another episode of Never a Straight Answer, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host, Gaz, joined in the studio. You know him, I know him. He's a total cult. He's all the way from Taylortown. It's Mr. Taylor.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Thank you very much. Yes, I appreciate it.
It's a wonderful feeling to be back in the studio, and we're both alive. We're both well.
Yes, we are.
Yes,
we
you may have noticed. You may have noticed that the cough has gone.
Although yesterday I felt like
we've not got the lurgy. Yeah, do you know what I did actually for a brief moment?
I kind of straight home, man.
I was like got queasy and everything. I was all discombobulated.
I was all ready for work. I even went into work.
Did you? You just went in and just went, "Can't do this.
Can't do this now." Yeah, I will collapse by the end of the day. So fuck that. I'm going home, mate.
No, I've had a weird week. I've had a nice week and I've had a stressful week. But since the last time we actually spoke, because like obviously last week. Yeah. We had a week off, but we still had episodes. But we ended up switching the episodes around. So if anybody got confused, that episode 73 was actually when you started listening. Because I actually say this is episode 72. Yeah. So if you got confused, do apologise. But we ended up switching them around because I ended up spending a week in London. Doing a lot of bits. I was so busy. And I was there pretty much all week. Yes. And then I finally got home Saturday night. And, it's knackered. Just... So I was knackered. Yeah. And I was back in work.
Totally out.
But got over the cough. But then on the flip side, I've had a really, really nice week as well.
You know, I still haven't got over my cough yet.
Have you not? I've got a little bit. But, like, generally speaking, my dulcet tones are back in action.
Well, it just keeps... it pops its dirty little head every now and again.
Fucking little bastard, eh?
Yeah. Well, as long as it ain't the corona, I'm happy.
Yeah, my corona. Updates on the corona.
Oh, well, Iran has got 5 people who have been infected, apparently.
Any new ones in the UK?
We've actually got the people
We've got the cure! We've got the cruise ship kids back, haven't we?
Yeah.
But wasn't like a couple who had been on the cruise ship for a while.
Yeah.
Basically told they've got it.
Yeah. They were reporting nearly every day to the news.
I know they were, weren't they? They were actually on it, like doing all the social media stuff.
They were doing a good job.
And they were doing a really good job at it. And I was
then
watching.
The stress was getting to him, and like
they probably got really run down. And I'm not surprised with it being on board and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So
they couldn't really do anything.
So what's the situation with them? Are they
they're back over here in quarantine again.
Quarantine, eh?
But it's got to be safe and sorry, you know.
Of course, at the end of the day,
this could be one of them that
I'd rather obviously put myself through 2 weeks of quarantine just to be safe than risk a population pandemic, I suppose.
Well, it actually was on
unlike that one kid who just went straight to his halls of residence and just was like, hiya, just come back from Wuhan.
Yeah, just shake my hand a minute. Yeah, all right.
Not washed my hands since I got there.
But South Korea hasn't done too well in the last 24 hours. They've actually doubled within 24 hours of how many people got it. I think it was like 230 odd but now there's like 460 odd now.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but everywhere else, it seems
I've not
to be
really
calming
seen.
down.
Yeah, I was going to say because I've not really seen much on the news recently, and I've been checking the website. You know, like because there's obviously the John Hopkins sort of global tracker. Yeah. Which is very interesting, and I posted it on Twitter. Yeah. So check it out because obviously it's updated every day, and it's information that comes from WOW, which is the World Health Organization, NHS, the CDC, and a load of other authorities that kind of like look into disease control and you know and finding cures and whatnot.
To stop all this scaremongering and that as well, you know what I mean? Get the real facts.
Of course, yeah, exactly.
And
this is it, because no one actually talks about the kind of the people who've got over it.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, in speaking, I think the last time I looked, it was like 69,000 people had contracted it, but only about 9,500 had been cured. Yeah. So, I mean, there's still a big sort of jump. So, you know, we'll see what happens. We'll keep you posted anyway.
Yeah.
But tonight, we're going to be talking about Jonestown. Yeah, it's the Jonestown massacre is definitely a topic that I've been, you know, looking into for a while.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different sort of takes on it. You can kind of look at the death tapes that are on YouTube and kind of have a look at all the footage that was shot by NBC. I mean, there's a lot of first-hand sort of information.
Yeah.
But when I read anything, it's always about those final few days. So we thought it might be interesting to go back a bit and look at kind of the whole sort of story from Jim Jones being a youngster to being a mass murderer, if you want.
900 people.
So, if you don't know, Jim Jones was basically was the fucking cause of a mass murder on the 19th of November in 1978. Jonestown in Guyana was a scene of a mass. Well, people say suicide, but it was definitely not a suicide. It was definitely murder of 913 people who died by drinking a lethal concoction of a grape juice beverage, and also were basically injected if they weren't really down for it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you. Did you what a beverage tonight?
Oh yeah, go on. Sort me out a drink. Yeah, go on. I think there's some in the cupboard.
Yeah.
But it's one of those, isn't it? It's like, you know, this was kind of adults, children, old people.
Yeah.
You know, it's
this is
one of the craziest stories you'll hear.
Well, in American history, before 9/11, this was the worst.
Was it? Yeah, because like literally, even though it happened in Guyana, a lot of the people, they were from like Illinois, Illinois, was it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
And you know, and other parts. All over because he had communes in the Redwood Valley, LA, San Francisco.
He was getting a load of people
all over the place. So you know, we'll go into that. But you know what? I've totally forgot.
What?
It's what's it? What's fucked up where you're from?
Oh yeah, yeah. Our new segment.
Well, what's fucked up where we were talking to Jess, who's from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And she was telling us about the Wendigo.
Oh, the Wendigo.
Yeah. So I don't know. We had to kind of. I mean, I've heard of the Wendigo. You see, and
all right,
it's one of those, isn't it? It's like an urban folklore.
Yeah, there's a lot of them around.
Oh,
must admit, there is a lot of them around.
Well, the Wendigo, it's part. It's a mythical man-eating creature or evil spirit in a folklore, in basically of the first national. Oh wait, what's this word? It's fucking hell! Straight away, tripping me up. Algonquin tribe based in the northern forests of Nova Scotia and the eastern coast of Canada and the Great Lakes regions of Canada and the United States. The Wendigo basically is basically described as a monster with some characteristics of a human or as a spirit. Basically, it looks kind of like a cross between a deer with antlers.
All right.
Yeah. And it's a bit like Man Bear Pig, I suppose. Do you know what I mean? Like from South Park. It's part man, it's part bear, it's part deer, or do you know, like a stag.
Is that one with the person as a leg?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it is.
Well, the Wendigo, Well, she claims that they've been seen in northern Minnesota.
Okay.
Which I can kind of believe as well, because obviously it's kind of that region as well, isn't it? Going north. She's not got any photos, but she just basically says that's pretty fucked up where she's from.
Yeah, but I think the first time, you need some kind of evidence. You know what I mean?
How do you mean?
Well, you need some. Well, like Loch Ness Monster, right? You've got photos. Ghost, you've got photos.
I'm pretty sure that if some people may have, but obviously she's just basically said that there was Wendigos in her area, and it made me look into what other folklore was going on in Minnesota.
Okay,
and there's a bit.
So quite a bit.
There was a legendary giant.
Okay.
He was a lumberjack called Paul Bunyan.
Why Paul Bunyan?
He was a folk hero.
Oh right, okay.
And he's basically a big basically Paul Bunyan is a giant lumberjack in America and kind of Canadian folklore, and he it revolves around the tail, his tall tail of a superhuman lumberjack.
Okay.
And so now,
what is this supposed to have come off a story from the history of the past?
Yeah. And now he basically these massive big Paul Bunyan statues, or kind of like as roadside attractions.
Okay,
correct me if I'm wrong. I mean,
I'm just thinking straight
traditionally in North American lodges.
I'm my head's just going straight to giants in the past.
Well, yeah, he's a giant woodchucker.
Yeah, and also I'm thinking as well onto the alien kind of wavelength of the past of being big giants in supposedly.
Oh, you mean like the Nephilim?
And stuff like that. I'm thinking that
maybe.
kind of.
But do you reckon the Nephilim would be swinging axes around? Paul Bunyan's kind of like an urban, basically he's just a fucking strong man.
Yeah,
he might have been a real guy. Maybe he was a real guy, and he was just the legend of him being so big.
Yeah, and what's the history of his, his background and his past? Was he did he come from nowhere? Did he was he born around there? That kind of stuff. I'll have to look into it.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll have to have a look into it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I've never heard of him before, so.
According to Wikipedia, Paul Bunyan is a giant lumberjack in America and Canadian folklore.
Okay.
His exploits revolve around the tall tales of his superhuman labours, and he is customary accompanied by Babe the Blue Ox.
Okay.
The character originated in the traditional North American lodges, and he was later popularised by a freelance writer, William B. Latherhead.
So it could be
in
like a Sherlock Holmes.
1882 to 1958.
So he could be like a Sherlock Holmes.
Potentially.
Someone writing about
if you think we're stupid and want to fill us in a bit more on Paul Bunyan, then we would love to know all about him. So send us an email, and we will retract any negative or bad information we've just put out.
And if it's that good, we might even go into
we might do an episode. Yeah. Never know.
Yeah.
So well, there you go, Jess. That's what's fucked up where you're from.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the USA.
Pretty fucked up, man.
Thank you very much for thanks for letting us know. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But there you go. We're moving on back onto the main episode. Like I say, we're talking Jim Jones tonight.
Yeah.
Like I say, mass murder. 913 people died by drinking a drink concoction. Most people say it was Kool-Aid.
Yeah,
but no, it wasn't Kool-Aid. Look, man, they were all living on this commune. Do you think they could afford brand name drink?
Bog roll, so
no,
never mind.
They were on fucking rice and peas. Not even rice and peas.
Yeah, just rice.
Just rice.
A day.
Well, I think it was Flavor Aid, grape Flavor Aid. So
yeah, a bit of powder.
There you go. A bit of there's already kind of you getting information here, because obviously they don't drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah. It's obviously in popular myth.
Oh yeah,
that's why it was.
Yeah.
But basically, going to Jim Jones. Jim Jones, basically, when he was a kid, he'd get called Jimba.
Jimba?
Jimba by his mum.
Oh, right.
The thing was, right, his mum was a bit mental anyway. Yeah, so was his dad, to be honest.
So it could have been passed on.
Yeah.
Gene kind of shit.
Oh, definitely. I mean, this wasn't, looking at the cult, it wasn't rooted in religion like most cults. We've already covered, in other episodes, and, like, we look how...
What would you call it a cult, though?
Oh, yeah. Well, the definition of a cult is basically a group of people who share an interest and want to, hang out and discuss that and do
stuff together.
Yeah. So I mean, you could argue any
groups of friends.
Yeah,
cults,
you're a cult. You all got common interests. You're all fucking what's it? But no, these cults are proper cults. These are big cults. And I mean, obviously, we've talked about kind of like stuff like Heaven's Gate in the past.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into a little bit in a bit. But this was more rooted in socialism, and all of his followers were pretty much, socialists.
Yeah.
Towards the end as well. And on the surface, the idea of Jonestown sounds like a pretty good idea. Or building a community and a compound where people could kind of work together. I say my cough's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can all work together, share, distribute the food, distribute the wealth.
Yeah, I think there's a place in India that does this kind of stuff.
What, like having a community
community based, without any taxes or anything like that. It's just everyone helps everyone else, and
it's a good idea.
I think it is a really good idea.
It is a good idea,
as long as you haven't got
I always
think
exactly, and that's the problem, isn't it? Because most of these someone wants to be in charge, and people get power hungry.
Yeah.
So the problem is with socialism, even though it's all great.
It's great
and gravy. Yeah. Everyone's like, distribution of wealth, food, any like medical care, education. It's all free, but you all work for the community.
Yeah,
great. Sounds amazing. Sign me up. But when you've got a guy in charge, it becomes a dictatorship, and I think we've seen that a number of times, and this is another case of that. So,
a few women, but a lot of times men.
A lot, even though this kind of happened in 1978, it actually started back in the 1950s, and it was a 40-year story in the making, really. Yeah. So, I mean, brace yourselves, guys. It's going to be a pretty long episode. I'll give you that. So we already know the end result, but the build-up was pretty kind of fucked up in itself. Yeah, it's pretty interesting to think. But by the time Jim Jones was the leader of the People's Temple, a lot of things had happened.
Yeah.
So,
me, man.
like I said earlier, we've already covered other cults before that focus on kind of one leader that's kind of,
goddish,
who claims that he's holier than thou, and that he's got a power or he's got some information that other people don't have. And one in particular, Marshall Applewhite, he was the leader of the Heaven's Gate cult.
Little fucker.
Where was it about 39 people?
Yeah.
So 39 people killed themselves, but basically that was a mass suicide because they all wanted to do it. I mean, even to a point where a lot of them castrated themselves before the fucking cause. Do you know what I mean? Thinking that it was going to free them or make them more susceptible for this migration in this kind of transcendence, if you like.
Yeah.
So Jim Jones, for the fucking basically was far worse and spent a lot of years, basically brainwashing his parishioners and followers, and gave, he was very nasty. He was kind of like
little bastard.
He was a bit of a bastard, yeah. I think that it wasn't, like I say, it wasn't a mass suicide thing. It, like I said at the beginning of the show, it was more a mass murder.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a suicide cult that a lot of people kind of
because everyone wanted to survive, didn't they? It was basically sort of like,
to be honest,
a religious kind of thing.
It was fear that kind of I felt that he put them on. He put them under fear, constant fear,
drawn them in.
That made them think that something was about to happen. If he did, and if this thing was about to happen, the only option was to go down this road.
Yeah,
and we'll get into it because, like I say, it's a long story. But Jim Jones basically forced his followers, to do what they did. But a lot of people kind of, like I say, call it a suicide cult still.
Yeah.
So making the connection to Applewhite is a bit kind of lame. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it wasn't the same thing.
It was a different thing. Wasn't
even, mate, cult's a cult, but you know.
Yeah, but there are different kind of cults. Like we just said, like you got a cult of friends, you got a cult of colleagues, you've got a cult of family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're always in a cult of some sort or another, because like humans need companionship. So you're always going to be in a cult anyway.
Yeah, well, like I say, it's not like he's turning around to these 900 and odd people, or nearly 1,000 people, and saying, "Hey guys, we're all going to get on the back of a spaceship and head off on the back of a comet."
Yeah, after
you know what I mean?
Yourself.
After you kill yourselves, and look, we're all wearing matching trainers.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, Heaven's Gate, they knew what they were getting into.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like there was people who were, especially in Heaven's Gate, because they were allowed to leave. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas Jim Jones was very against people leaving the community of of Jonestown, especially after he'd kind of built it and brought everyone in. And
when he walked in, things changed.
The way I see it, Jim Jones was a fucking murderer, right? Yeah. So there's no spiritual meaning to the People's Temple in any way. It was a social experiment, and like I say, it was at the core. It was a pretty good idea. I'm not going to go, like I say, I think it is a good idea what he put down on paper to people. Yeah. And if I might have been myself, if I would have been in the area, maybe thinking, wow, do you know what? This sounds really appealing.
True, but it did go for the very, very vulnerable people.
Well, he did, but he also did a lot of good things. So back in the early days, what he'd do is he'd get people in by doing good deeds, and helping people, and helping people with stuff that they were struggling with. Yeah. So people felt like, wow, this is I'm going to church and I'm getting something out of it. Rather than just being
sat in the back
board and then leave, and you just feel like you've just wasted your morning. Yeah. So. He did a lot of good things, but Jim Jones, as a leader, was probably where it all went wrong. Yeah. He was two words, power hungry. Yeah. He was a drug addict. Yeah. And basically an egomaniac.
Got out of control.
Jim Jones basically had manipulated a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, he was one of them kind of people who could chat himself through the president's door and get you to do stuff for him by the words.
Well, to understand him, you obviously need to go back a bit. Yeah. So Jim Jones was born in Crete, Indiana, on May the 13th in 1931. He was pretty much classed as an American civil rights preacher. Okay. The son of Lynetta and James Herman Jones. Both pretty big personalities in the town, well known around the area, because James was basically a World War I vet, right? And he suffered from mustard gas. Oh, right. So like he was.
So there's
known
a bit of kind of there.
He was always like, bit Larry around the town, and he was actually from a rich family. All right, and a lot older than Lynetta. Yeah, and Lynetta was a bit weird as well. She had basically these delusions and like sort of dreams. She said she had dreams that she was destined to have a great son. Yeah, like a world leader. Sort of thing.
Shit! Yeah. So she's putting all that energy into her after having these dreams, and the father doesn't. Well, he might care, but he might have a bit of violence.
Well, was the thing, you see, because even though she gave birth to Jim Jones, and she had these grand delusions of her son being like this great guy, she didn't like him. Neither did the dad. In fact, he wouldn't even be allowed in the house when she wasn't there. Yeah. So like he'd go out just kicking his heels, fucking about, and messing about.
So then they're not looking after him either. They don't really care.
So Jim Jones was a bit fucked up. He was a bit of a nutter, and in fact, when he was born, his parents just ignored him.
Sounds like he had a hard life, man. Well, and that's where it started.
Well, it's weird, isn't it? Because on one hand, you've got your mother saying that you've got you special and all the rest of it, but she doesn't treat you like she thinks she's special.
Yeah.
But, he was kind of in terms of success, he was successful in what he did. So she wasn't wrong.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, she did. I mean,
well, to a degree.
Could you get 900 people to follow you to the shops? I couldn't get 900. I couldn't get a fucking dog to follow me.
I don't know if I offered them, 50 quid each.
Well, no, we've got all you guys, your lovely listeners.
Yeah.
You know, well, fair enough. We don't do too bad, all right.
No.
Then. Yeah. But we'll never ask you to do anything so fucking stupid.
No.
If, if we do a meet-up and we offer you a
Kool-Aid. Yeah, don't drink it.
Don't drink it. Jim Jones, he just basically wandered the streets until he was taken in by the Nazarene church. Right.
So there's a bit of street knowledge as well there. Then, so that's
probably
where he's got his trickery of trying to...
A bit manipulative. Yeah, maybe. So he's been chilling at the Nazarene church, but the Nazarene church is one of those sort of things, if you believe that if you go to any other kind of church, then you're never allowed back.
Oh, right,
But he didn't kind of take any stock in this because he started going to all types of churches.
Okay.
He wanted to learn about religion and being a minister and all this type of thing. And he learned a lot that he used going forward.
But was he using it to change his life, or was he using it to use it?
I think he realised at a young age that this was a load of fucking hooey, and
a load of people that swallow it,
and people believed it.
Yeah.
And maybe he could use it to his advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, very soon he went from just going to that one to multiple churches, taking notes to learn a lot more, and he just basically become obsessed.
Right. Okay.
On one occasion, he led a group of... This is kind of the mad thing. So you think on the surface there, he's quite a nice kid, wanting to learn about church, taking notes and all this. But he used it to lead groups of kids. Like a Pied Piper.
Okay.
So he would go... On one occasion, he led a group of kids to a coffin factory, and he got all the kids to lay in the coffins to show what being dead would be like.
Oh,
right?
Shit.
Now, after a while, the kids who were following him were like, "Oh, these are the similar age."
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, I don't want to chill with him anymore. He's a bit of a dick."
Well, this seems to carry on till the end. Kind of. Thing.
He started hanging around with the younger kids who were a lot more susceptible and were like, "Hey, older lad wants to play with us," and he took advantage of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and again, he learned a lesson there because he learned that if you're not played with by the kids your own age, that there's other kids out there that will want to play with you.
Yeah.
So he's
just
thought,
work your way.
I need to work out who I can, who will be influenced by me, and the ones who aren't, do you know what I mean? So disenfranchised people, drug addicts, recovering fucking alcoholics. Anybody who's kind of, and at that time as well, like I say, there was a big integration problem with the black community, where they wasn't allowed in churches, so he was able to kind of say. Oh, yeah, do you know what? You're not allowed in church. Come to my church. Do you know?
Yeah.
So he was very manipulative in the ways he operated.
Bit of a bastard.
So like I say, he even basically found animals on the side of the road and just had weird funerals for them. And then weird services where he'd ask all other children to come around.
It's nice in a way.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying, though. He's very kind of
but then
on
again,
and off. He's
you're
hot and cold,
manipulating
isn't
there
he?
as well.
Yeah, he's totally hot and cold because, like I say, he basically ended up getting a bit of a hero complex for Adolf Hitler. And he ended up getting a lot of the kids to kind of goose step up and down while he kind of shouted orders at them. Yeah. So he had a fucking complex, definitely. And
that age.
Got a lot of the other younger kids to kind of put up with it. And I think it was something something Jim took on in his life, use it going forward and trying to manipulate, like I say, the disenfranchised by building that following.
Yeah.
And the way he did. Because this shows people, it shows how people kind of who were going through life experiences that need help.
Yeah.
And he's there offering it.
Yeah.
That they kind of jump on board and they think, this guy's looking out for best interest. He's bringing me into this really cool group of people,
Well, so don't get shit for free, man.
Well,
Okay,
like I
shit
say,
for free.
so like I say, he wasn't he was a nice kid and he was a naughty kid. So to animals, he would he'd shoot them and wound them.
Yeah.
And he'd even shoot his friends with BB guns.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? So he did have kind of psychopathic tendencies, I think.
And if his mum and dad don't care about what he's up
nothing
to
give a
and
shit
doing,
what he
then
did.
they're not going to take him to the docks. The docks ain't going to know about it. So
I suppose
he
it
ain't
was
gonna
like the 1930s going in the 1940s. I mean, I don't think there was that much they did. And especially with war kicking off. It's like, it's not like today where you send your kid into the doctors and they go, right, yeah, he's got ADHD. And then give him some fucking tablets.
You had the recession, the Great Recession as well at that time as well.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
You had so many problems at that point in time that, no one's interested in what he's doing, and he's just going off the fucking rails, and no one's telling him what's what.
This is how a lot of these fucking serial killers start, because it was like, they kind of doted on by the mum or not.
Yeah.
And then they just go out there like
entertaining
themselves, really,
but not learning the right things.
Depends, really, isn't it? I suppose. I think some people are set on a path, and I think he was able to kind of pick out bits from experiences he's had, and use them for his advantage. So as he got older, he would preach on the streets in the area where people, for example, were not allowed in churches, or basically finding people who were social outcasts.
Yeah.
And he did help a lot of people. But his dark side would obviously eventually take hold and push him into doing some fucking terrible stuff.
Yeah.
The way he ended up working in a hospital for a while, right?
All right. Okay.
And he was an orderly, and he looked after kind of like older people and infirmed, and he thought it was fun. He thought it was fun. Yeah, he loved it. He loved everything about it. He thought it was like the best job going,
Okay.
But through it, he was able to kind of sway people and twist people towards his sort of way of thinking.
Yeah.
He even got his friend Donnie a job there. Yeah.
Oh, right.
But Donnie was a bit of a weak-willed fella, and he just bullied him. So he'd give him all the fucking shit jobs, like the guy down the corridor needs his diaper changing, or
he's not his friend, then is he? Really?
Make him do like fucking horrible jobs,
I'm not
right?
Doing that.
Just to kind of see if he'll fucking do it, or to be nasty to him.
Oh right, okay,
right.
Yeah.
And the fact was, he was evil. Like, he was evil all the way through, wasn't he?
Have his evil streaks.
So, although this was where he met his first wife.
Okay.
Yeah, and pretty much his
partner for life.
Well, basically his first follower, his first main hardcore follower.
Yeah.
Right. So
I suppose you expect that.
Also Maslin, she also worked at the hospital with Jim, and he manipulated her to believe that he was a really good man. He was righteous.
Yeah.
He was good to the core. And working in the hospital, she's seeing him, doing stuff that confirmed it.
Yeah.
So after a while, he gained his first proper follower.
Right. Okay.
They were married on March the 12th, 1949, and even her family were pretty much like, "What you doing?" They didn't like him from the start.
All right. Yeah. So they got the sniff that there was something wrong here.
Yeah, there was definitely something. They got a weird vibe about him.
Yeah.
But after the wedding, he started to do things and say things and act in a certain different way. Right. That basically she kind of started to think, wow, you're not the man I married, because obviously she's a devout Christian.
Yeah.
And he's now turning around and going, I'm an atheist. Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck?
So
it sounds proper premeditated, this.
Well, yeah, totally.
You know
so
what I mean?
he'd basically give up. He was an atheist and a socialist. Yeah. That's what he's come out with then.
Okay.
But obviously she's married to him now.
Yeah.
And she actually wanted a divorce, but her mum talked her out of it
and said, "No, leave it alone."
But obviously it's a good sort of testament to show how kind of easily Jim Jones was able to kind of manipulate people. And spout his ideas, and
What? So she carried on following him?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, she followed him
afterwards. She wanted a divorce.
Well, no. She thought about a divorce, but obviously it's come out then like
leave it alone, stop it. Yeah.
Well, the thing that actually probably made her stay was the fact that the Methodist Church had a bit of a reform, right?
All right, okay.
A bit later on, and the changed their mind about a number of points, which meant that Jim Jones was like, oh yeah, I could get on board with this. Because there was stuff like prison reform, free speech, racial equality. Okay. So Jim Jones was like, all right, Methodist, I can probably get back into the church here. Yeah. And he did. So he was basically back into the church, and he realised that he could set up a new sort of church where he could just help people. Yeah. Similar to the Methodist Church, like with the similar ideas of, like, and this is how he pitched it to his wife, Massaline, right? Massaline, I think she's called,
right?
And we wanted to kind of help put this together and bring a new church where he could fix it, and fix people and help people, and they'd feel like they were getting something out of it in a community.
Okay.
Fix the flock's problems, if you like.
Yeah, because obviously the other churches aren't doing the job, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So he started kind of thinking about this, but he was also getting into faith healing a lot as well. So if you don't know what faith healing is, it's all that like, I will heal this child with my power of my hand.
Hey, I like them preachers, though.
I love that shit.
Them preachers are just like... There's so much energy there.
Oh, seriously, but I mean, when you watch some of the kind of... It's not so much those ones. It's the back in the day they do these travelling preachers, sort of things, and it was more. They were called revivals because, like, obviously revivals of
what?
Well, that's what they just call it, revivals, or maybe like they're bringing them back from.
All right, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but they were basically called faith healers, or travelling preachers. So Jim Jones got the idea that he would do this as well. Do you know what I mean?
Why not?
Oh yeah, of course. He was like fucking good racket this.
Yeah.
So
how they make dollars out there doing that?
Well, he loved the whole thing. So when he saw and he experienced how people reacted and their loved ones would react.
Yeah.
And he thought, healing hands. Yeah, I'll have a bit of this. So. The thing was, on stage, this whole heal this boy sort of thing, they were using stooges and, plants, these faith healers.
I suppose you would, though.
Yeah, well, he didn't really know anyone. No, they all were, yeah. But, like, Jim Jones, he thought, I want to go with this, but, like, I don't really know anyone who'll get in on it with me.
Yeah.
So he got really good at kind of, like, listening to people before a sermon. Yeah.
Okay.
He'd hear people in the crowd and he'd listen for little bits and he'd kind of pick up on ailments.
Yeah.
Bit like the mediums do, like, like I'm getting the name John.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those types of guys.
There's 30 people in there and there's got to be a John somewhere.
Exactly, yeah. So, like, they'd pick out, like, traits and things that, and he'd say to, like, so, for instance, a blind woman, like, you could kind of tell that she was blind. Yeah. Because of kind of a body language. She's fucking got a cane, whatever. Well, but by the time she sat down, she's just another parishioner. But Jim had noticed these things, or he'd, he'd get onto it. So he'd bring her up. And then after a while, we'd say he became known as, like, the psychic preacher because of those types of miracles, rather than healing people. He'd basically be able to tell you what you've got. And, sort of like, a bit like, say, like a medium.
It's not hard to point a blind person out, realistically.
So it wasn't a case of, like, he was doing anything big, like helping somebody walk again.
He was tippy-toeing
he was out skirting on the edge, he was dipping his toes in. So instead, he would, like say, he'd just basically say, oh, we can kind of heal you, or I know what's wrong with you, or this will get better.
Yeah.
So he started running his similar sort of meeting where, we got very good at picking out these things and, doing and working people's problems out. And like I say, he just became known as a psychic, really. But it'd obviously bring people up to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as he went on, his gig got a bit bigger.
Well, it would if he was getting that good, if he was getting a reputation.
So, and obviously, this was kind of bringing in money, raising followers, and he did do a lot for good for people. For example, one woman who had problems with her power company, he helped fix it by writing them a letter saying that that she's having electric problems, but she's paying a bill, and she's having blackouts every 2 minutes. Okay. So she sorted it out, and like I say, everyone saw this and soon became got a reputation for doing good, and somebody who helped people work through problems and find solutions. So more and more people liked him, and unlike the normal church, they felt like they were getting something out of it.
Yeah, well, so you would do that, wouldn't you? So,
obviously, he started building his community from the church.
Yeah.
But, oh, yeah, I was telling you about this earlier, weren't I?
Yeah.
So he's basically been making money on the side by going around selling spider monkeys.
Yeah.
For $25 a pop.
Spider monkeys, man.
And, but he even gained followers from that. Because he would be saying, "Oh, by the way, I've got this church. Do you fancy coming to church on Sunday?"
Why not?
And any opportunity he got, he was always trying to
sway people to come.
Yeah. And he weren't doing too badly, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, he'd just invite him, say, "Got a customer coming. Do you know?" For
come
church
in, have
on
a
Sunday.
Look, just have it a check out, and then if you like it, come back again. If you don't, bye-bye.
Well, he started getting to the point where he had nearly 1,000 people at his services. He had to even turn people away, but people started to become die-hard followers, and the claims of the healing hands and the psychic psychic powers that he possessed started to spread, and a lot of his followers were from fucking African American communities, and as a lot of them weren't allowed in churches because of them, obviously the integration, of blacks and whites going into churches together.
He thought abuse your power.
Jim basically would welcome them in and say, "Come on in." He had new followers every day, and the place was just overflowing with people wanting to come to see him. So he had to kind of start thinking about getting a better setup. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he decided to find somewhere to move in. Yeah. And what was it? He found a Jewish temple.
Okay.
In the Red I think it's at the Red Bank Valley or the Redwood Valley.
Redwood, yeah.
Yeah. And on the outside it basically said temple.
Yeah.
So we decided,
why not go for it?
Well, the People's Temple, isn't it? That's where kind of the name come from. So where are we up to?
People's Temple.
We're up to there at all. Yeah. So basically, what he'd do is he started doing this thing anyway, right? This nasty thing, bringing people up onto stage.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So what he'd do is he'd kind of get chicken guts, and he'd say, "You go." He'd get him up like a stooge, and he'd be like, "You go backstage, and then you go and excrete the cancer." Yeah. A couple of minutes later, they'd come out with a hanky with this grim stuff in it, and he'd be like, "Oh, I've just got it out of me. This is the cancer. It's gone now." Actually, a newspaper turned around and said, "Can we analyse it, just to prove that it's what it is?"
Oh, sure.
And they were like, no, our enemies will doctor the results, and they're not going to know that it's real and all the rest of it, and we'll just get made laughing stocks and stuff. So we wouldn't let them analyse it. But it was fucking chicken guts. But obviously, it's pretty gross.
Yeah, he's preying on vulnerable people, man, big time.
Yeah. He started growing his growing his flock.
Yeah.
And it just got to the stage where, it was just so many people attending.
He was a busy boy. He had a lot of things going on, didn't he?
Yeah, but by the 1950s it was so big, like I say, he had to kind of find a new premises. So he bought the Jewish Old Temple, and that was like I say, the name, the word temple was etched outside, so we ended up kind of calling the new church the People's Temple. And I think that's what he thought would work, do you know what I mean? Because it's not a church. And it's not like a temple as in like a religious temple. It's the People's Temple. It's where the people can go and, look through, have get help.
Yeah, well, if you were vulnerable and like you had nowhere to go, you turn to somewhere supposedly like that. It's a big invite.
Well, he was working hard. He worked really hard, and basically to enforce this, having a hand in every aspect of the community.
Yeah.
He was very good at organisation and putting his followers in the right job for them. Yeah, so new people would come in and he'd go, right, you can work here, you can work over there, you can work in the kitchens, whatever. He'd always put them in a job that
suits him.
Yeah, I'd say so. So, but obviously he was spreading himself a bit thin. Do you know what I mean? Going, doing all this stuff. So he was taking a lot of speed just to keep him awake. But then he had to take other drugs to fucking help him get to sleep. And this is why he always wore sunglasses. And the reason for wearing them constantly was that he was, so fucking mashed up on drugs.
Yeah.
But what he'd tell people was that he was so powerful that if he looked directly at them without his sunglasses, energy would come out of his eyes because he was so godly.
Well, really, they'll look into his eyes and say, "You're fucking smashed out of your head,
what have you been fucking smoking?"
Yeah.
So I've not been smoking. I'm fucking wired. He was also collecting money from all the parishioners. Like 25% of wages were coming into the church. So obviously,
that's deeper than tax.
Well, I think it might not have been that much when he started, but it certainly was towards the end. In fact, definitely when they got to Guyana.
But then again, he's twisted their melons so far that they're massive fans and they do whatever he says.
Well, he was spending it on all of the programs related to the temple. So
he was actually giving it out and not keeping it himself.
Like I say, he was a socialist. No, I'm not saying that Jim Jones wasn't living like a fucking fat cat and being able to do what he wanted and drive around in the car he liked and all the rest of it.
Yeah, man, king of the hill. Yeah.
He's the leader. He's the god of this community, mate. It's like the Pope. The Pope's got a Pope mobile.
Yeah.
Why can't Jim Jones have one? Do you know what I mean?
Well, he ain't the Pope.
You never know.
Well, he ain't the Pope, is it?
Well, no, but he's Jim Jones, man. He's Jim Jones of Jonestown.
Yeah.
Well, he wasn't then anyway at
that
time. He'd, like I say, to make money, he was making money making sales of spider monkeys. But he'd also sell photos of himself for like $5 or $6. That had basically, he was said that if you owned one of these photos, that you'd be protected. And it was just a portrait of Jim Jones.
What?
But there was
and
an
he fell
incident.
for it.
Everyone bought one. He was selling like hundreds a day. Yeah. Every time he did a big service, he would shift absolute tons of these photos.
I'll tell you what, you are right when you say this guy was a bit of a genius.
He was a fucking genius, but a mental genius at that. An evil genius.
Yeah, evil
so there was
genius,
even one kid who said that he laid the photo of Jim Jones on a dying bird and it came back to life.
Bollocks.
So even people thought he was fucking legendary anyway, and the church was actually,
Sure, he didn't write that out and say, right, we're going to spread that rumour around. I wouldn't be surprised if most of them were.
Yeah, totally. It's all like, we'll get to some more stuff like this in a bit because he was notorious for it. There were so many instances of Jim Jones where he'd set something up just to make a point or just to make people believe in him a little bit more.
Yeah.
And there was so many instances where which we'll get into, but the guy was fucked up, man. He did some crazy stuff. The people were fucking expected to work for the pleasure of staying there.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a community-based thing, and then like everybody has to pull the weight.
Oh, hell
but the camps were very minimal, and obviously people were coming down there thinking, oh right, I've just joined this thing. Yeah. And he's calling it like paradise and whatnot. And they get into the Redwood Valleys, and it's like 15, 20 people in a hut, no toilet. And it's like, what the fuck for what's into here?
I was going to say, paradise. I don't believe you work in a paradise.
No, you don't work at paradise. Definitely
I believe
not.
you actually relax.
Oh, you should be relaxing with a hot stone massage.
I would have thought it'd be a bit funny that, first thing to do in paradise is, can you dig that all over there for me?
Well, anybody who complained, it'd just get told off. They'd get told off and say they were bourgeois.
Yeah,
they were bourgeois. They were bourgeois, and they shouldn't be complaining because obviously everything was provided.
You're grateful.
They were, obviously he was such a socialist that even, he even actually considered moving everybody to Russia at one point in the 1960s, basically saying that, it was a socialist paradise. But one guy stood up and just said, no, it's not. What are you talking about? What about genocide over there? And what about all this stuff going on over there? And
that's it, man. You speak your word.
Well, no, because Jim Jones told him off big time right in front of everybody. Then he pulled him, but later on, he's pulled him aside and said, do you know what? You're clever, you are. Do you want to work for me? And that was the point, because he was getting all the people who were maybe trouble causers or potentially... Yeah, well, no, just keeping them close. Yeah. So, like, if he thinks they work for me directly, they might be a bit more loyal to me because I've given them an opportunity. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So he was like, no, don't worry about it. If you've ever got any problems, I think you were bang out for, saying it out in front of everybody, but...
You can come and talk to me anytime.
Exactly.
I will not kick your ass.
But this is how he manipulated people, and and got people to,
do his whim.
Anyone he thought might be a bit trouble, he'd bring him into the inner circle. Yeah. But
the Spy Club.
Like I say, he was very, very controlling. Pretty much a perfect politician at this point. He was, where Jones started to try and, get into the politics game.
Yeah.
And, we made some kind of influential friends. One particular friend, Tim Stone, who was actually a DA working at the DA office locally.
DA.
Tim was actually sucked right in to the Jonestown sort of idea.
Yeah.
Or actually, the People's Temple.
Yeah.
Because obviously Jonestown wasn't really there yet.
Well, like you said, it's a good idea. It's just the way you put it into practice.
Well, he'd been getting record numbers and basically had a private army. He was one of these people where they were very loyal followers.
Yeah.
And, there was a lot of people who would basically bear arms to protect what they'd got.
Yeah.
So when people started to think of, leaving, they would be instantly fucking brought back in. Swayed by the other members and Jim Jones himself.
Yeah.
And around the 1970s, Jim had actually removed any religious sort of implications to the People's Temple. Oh. Whereas at the beginning, he was telling people that it was spiritual and religious.
But now it's changed.
Well, yeah, because he was basically saying he was replacing God with himself and saying, God's not your saviour, I'm your saviour.
So he's got a bit of a God complex.
Yeah, he started proper getting all up his own arse, do you know what I mean?
Fucking drugs, the uppers and downers he's fucking taking.
Yeah, that's what a speed does to you, I think. It fucking gives you delusions of grandeur.
Yeah.
But he basically started, damn right slagging off God during his services. Saying that, if I threw this Bible across the room and which he did, and then if it's true, then God will strike me down. But then it didn't happen. So but in this religious fucking group, people start getting the idea of he's challenging the Bible, he's challenging God, and nothing's happening to him. In fact, he's quite a successful guy. It's all going well for him.
Yeah, he's doing all right, isn't
he? In every sermon, he'd kind of bring up the contradictions of the Bible. And
believe me,
over time, people started coming round to the way of thinking that he was doing. He was thinking, well, he's got a point here.
Yeah.
Actually, he's got a point here. Oh, he's got another point here.
Yeah.
And over time, people started changing their minds.
Yeah.
So, I can understand he was, like you say, he was very kind of, very manipulative. But, obviously nothing struck him dead and nothing kind of, happened. So
yeah, he never got ill or shit like that.
No. So
never had the trots.
All it basically said was to his followers that Jim Jones was right and there was no God.
He must have got herpes at least once.
What?
He must have got herpes at least once.
Maybe with the amount of people he was fucking, he had in the whole People's Temple.
Yeah,
he had his pick. And in the inner circle, which is basically called the planning committee.
Yeah.
The planning commission. He was bringing women in just to bringing them in on the planning commission because he just wanted to sleep with them, and he had he could do whatever he wanted at this point. So
God, isn't he?
Well, according to Jim Jones, we were all gods. Some gods are more godly than others, though.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and he was one of the more godly gods.
And what makes him the more godly
power,
god?
Obviously, all the power went to his head. He started to take on other churches. Yeah. So one church in particular was a congregation of Father Divine.
Yeah.
Right. Now this is a pretty fucked up story, right? Because Father Divine was married to Mother Divine, right? And they did this sort of like whole spiritual faith healing type thing, right? And he had a big following, and he'd do this whole, I will, cure you with my healing hands. So. Mother Divine, though, she came down with cancer, right? And Father Divine was saying, like, I'll cure her. Don't worry, will cure her. Because people were like, why haven't you cured your wife? Yeah. Of all the people you've cured, surely you could have cured your wife. And he's like, no, I will. I'm going to cure her when the time's right.
Yeah, just checking out the divorce bill.
Well, she died of cancer. And he'd been having a bit of an affair with a blonde Canadian woman.
Big babes,
probably. Yeah, she probably did. Yeah. And he'd been kind of having his way, and he basically blagged his his congregation, and said that he transferred the spirit of his wife, Mother Divine, into the body of this
other woman,
leggy blonde.
But then that begs
big knookers.
But that begs the question on, all right.
Now, she must have known it was all bullshit straight away. Right?
And where's her soul now? Where's her soul gone?
Well,
to the ether?
It doesn't matter, because obviously Mother Divine's divine. Mother Divine's divine, and obviously he knows it's a load of shit. It's just to kind of keep his congregation off his back. But when Father Divine died, and Jim Jones rocked up and said to Mother Divine, I'm the reincarnated spirit of Father Divine.
Clever boy. Clever boy.
He felt he could double his congregation overnight.
Yeah.
And it was just a testimony of who believes each other's bullshit the most. She knew it was bullshit.
Yeah, she couldn't do nothing about it, though.
But
was she lose her finance?
Was she prepared to go along with it?
Yeah. Got it.
Now, Jim was so fucking convinced that he was going to double his flock. He even took a load of extra buses down with him to fill up to bring back to Redwood Valley.
Nah,
because he was that arrogant. He had a big ego.
Did he fill him?
I probably did, but I mean, obviously, Mrs. Mother Divine was like, I don't know. And a lot of people were like, I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's like they already bought the fact that her soul got transferred into Mother Divine. So why not this white guy who's just came up?
Yeah.
And it's like,
I could see it if I was mind fucked.
This is it, mate. If you've been brainwashed to the point where you believe in it so far, then adding a little bit extra on's not going to harm, is it?
It's a little cherry on top of the cake.
Oh right, it's a fucking twist in the tail. It's like Lost.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, we're just going along with it.
Just watch every week.
Yeah.
So so basically Jim Jones doubled his congregation. Those who were not kind of on board with it, he just basically said that they were all going to go to hell.
We're all going there anyway.
But despite this, a lot of people did go. A lot of people did go over. Talked about the planning commission. He put this together. His team of his most trusted followers to start the the idea of kind of Jonestown going
I don't know
forward.
Trusted,
but he also kind of got him in to do kind of work on how to control everybody. So ideas would come from Jim. Yeah, but obviously they were seen as a bit of a test audience, because obviously running a cult you need. And plus, I think what they felt was that, the other people outside of the planning commission was that there's like a council looking after them. Somebody looking into their best interests, if you like. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Whereas where it was coming straight from Jim, it was all a bit one-sided. Whereas if they felt like it was coming from a group of like followers or a group of,
then it must be true.
Then it's a bit more kind of, evenly put together, if you like. I don't know. Well, a lot of them believed him and joined anyway. Obviously the idea, rather than, the ideas was coming from them rather than just Jim.
Yeah.
So everybody else just kind of got on board with it and kind of went along with it.
Yeah.
But rather than, it becomes rather than a dictatorship, doesn't it? Because I think that's what he was worried about, people seeing it as a dictatorship.
Yeah, because, if he needed to keep, he needed to keep new flock coming in.
Yeah, definitely. But obviously he still needed to control the ones he had.
Yeah, but it was turning out to be more and more difficult because you're getting a bigger level and then bigger level. Then how far are you going to go until like?
Well, this is it. It was like some of the stuff they were being punished for was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
talking to someone. What
yeah,
the
well,
fuck?
like talking too much. Or one girl, wasn't it?
But
I think what he was using these kind of this commission or the planning commission for was just kind of getting his wildest ideas out, but he was just bullying them really, and this basically increased into the end. He was putting people up to things like making them come up with torture methods and stuff.
He was getting bored.
That's what I think.
He was getting bored. He needed a new tactic because it's sort of like society now. Prison doesn't work as much as it did in the past.
Well, it started off with spankings. Yeah.
Spankings?
Yeah, in the People's Temple, they'd have spankings in front of 1,000 people.
I bet some people got turned on that day.
Using belts at first.
Oh.
Then it moved up to paddles.
Oh, some kinky stuff.
And the licks as well, like, do you know how many they got? Like, it increased from, like, 1 or 2 to, like, 50.
Whoa.
Over a short period of time.
Oh, shit.
And it was like, well, what are they committing? What crimes are they committing to warrant this sort of punishment?
He says, or he deems that you're doing wrong.
Seems like he's a bit of a knobhead, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
Come near me with that paddle,
you know what I mean? Fucking kinky sod.
Well, he also run a bit of a fight club as well.
Ooh, fight club.
Yeah. So he'd run a fight club. One story was an old lady versus a kid. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. He put
the old lady won, didn't you?
Yeah, no, the kid did.
Oh shit!
So he forced people to box until Jim Jones felt like they'd had enough, basically. So he'd have him like fight multiple fucking people. If they won, they'd keep him going. You know what I mean?
Oh shit! It's even worse.
I know, he was a bit of a nutter, and he'd get people to just kind of just do this. Why people didn't just walk out, I don't fucking know. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's the charm of the gob, innit?
But like I say earlier, like the fact is they had nothing. Yeah. They were giving away most of the wages. They had paid to be there. Yeah, and these people felt trapped. Jim Jones basically said if anybody wanted to leave, they had to live at least 100 miles away from the temple for a start.
No problem.
But then Jim Jones started to kind of like go proper deep with it. He went out into LA and San Francisco and he started making like, new churches. Bringing more people in. He'd start doing.
The flock needs to get bigger.
Oh yeah, but this is what he was doing. He was going to other people's parishes, other people's churches, and doing guest sermons. Yeah, and then pilfering the parishioners, and bringing them over to his church. So he ended up buying a new church in LA and a new church in San Francisco. Yeah, because he needed to accommodate all the people he'd been stealing from all these communities. Yeah, and bringing them into his sort of thing. So all of a sudden, he's got fucking free places, free churches,
loads of people,
fucking literally loads of followers. So it wasn't like he wasn't doing well for himself at the time.
It sounds like he was doing very well.
Well, there was a lot of people who were getting into the People's Temple, and he even had a fake. He had a fake assassination attempt. This is what I was talking about earlier when he does things, to make people believe that he's
a godlike
creature. He's got power, he's got real power, and he's worth following. Yeah. So he even tried an assassination attempt on himself, right? But it was all faked, right? So basically, he had somebody out in the woods. He starts strolling through the grounds, right? Next minute, boom. Gunshot. Right. Everybody rushes over. He's clutching his like fucking chest and on the floor covered in blood.
Yeah.
Seemingly, right?
Yeah.
So after a while, everyone's like literally outside the tent going, oh my God, Jim's going to die. What are we going to do? Panic.
We're free.
Hysteria.
We can run away.
Probably.
We can go anywhere we want.
Fucking let's go.
Lovely,
quick.
lovely.
Man down. Let's do it.
Who did it? Who did it? Go on, I watch shake his hand. Go on.
Fucking hell. So but next minute, Jim Jones comes out of his tent. Yeah. Absolutely fine. You know, and his shirt even got put up as a fucking a relic.
Oh shit!
Right, for a while, but apparently the police got involved because somebody said there was gunshots up at the ranch. Yeah, and the shirt got fucking quickly put away.
Oh yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I had the evidence. Yeah, nothing officer.
So he was fucking like, you know, he's a bit of a mad guy, man. He used to do some wacky shit.
Hey, but it was working. That's the thing. If it was working, then he was going to carry on, wasn't he? Really?
Well, everyone thought he was dead and come back to life.
He's Jesus reborn again.
What?
He's Jesus reborn again.
But people hear about this sort of stuff, and you know, they want to know.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
So you know. I mean, like I say, he's after this though, his security went up.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Everyone started fucking like, you know, he was pretty intimidating because he'd have like a load of people surrounding him.
Yeah.
Jim Jones was like pretty much guarded by gunned goons.
Yeah.
And
he held one himself, didn't he, as well?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it was a Colt 45 that he always had on him.
I thought it was a 57.
Was it a 57 Magnum?
Yeah.
Oh well, who knows? Maybe he had one of each. Yeah, but yeah, apparently it was just like shoot it off.
Yeah.
When people had like nod off or whatever. In church.
Bang, what the fuck?
You're like Yosemite Sam.
Shit.
Fucking pow, pow, pow. Bye.
I'm surprised he didn't kill anyone with him, to be honest.
He probably did.
Yeah, that's true. He probably did.
You know, nobody cares. You know, he got a big ego though, that was the problem.
Yeah.
And obviously nobody could get near him, not press or fucking any sort of media.
Yeah, no one. He didn't want any of that stuff. He just wanted to, like you said, us as a community.
Yeah. Just wanted to live it out now. Do you know what I mean?
Let me trick you time after time after time, so I can get money out.
Oh, mate, he was a cunt for tricking people. He would just do stupid stuff like. I'll get to one in a minute, actually. But like now I say, he's had 3 sites. So he's got LA, Redwood Valley, and San Francisco. But really, he wanted the promised land. Do you know what I mean? A place where they could all go and be
call it their own place.
They could romp around the woodland.
Romp around? Oh,
yeah, do what they wanted,
like
man.
Place.
So yeah, it's paradise, innit? He wanted the promised land for him. Yeah. And that's what he called it for the time being, because obviously, like, he didn't know where the promised land was going to be.
Yeah.
He'd been fucking talk of Cuba. Yeah. Like, they'd been talk of Russia.
Yes.
Like, there was so many different... He was like, so many... I think he actually came up with an idea to take everyone to Cuba. And that comes up a bit later on as well, because I think, like, one of the first places he was thinking about setting up shop was Cuba.
Right.
Obviously, Russia, we said earlier.
Yeah.
But he wanted to kind of find this promised land for everybody.
Yeah.
And make it a
paradise.
A paradise, yeah. So, but he'd not yet come up with the name, obviously, Jonestown. So we'd been kind of talking like it is the promised land, and that's what it'd be. But obviously he had big kind of friends now in
big places.
In big places in terms of like the DA's office and congressmen and stuff like that.
What the fuck?
And he ended up establishing a good communications with the South African government in Guyana, right?
Yeah.
And he was kind of interested in, you know, getting a bit of land out there.
Yeah.
So had a bit of chat, you know, and they were kind of...
Didn't he have a little bit of problem as well with the IRS?
Well, this was a bit later on. Like, this is why they ended up kind of like... Why he ended up getting off and living there as well so quickly.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because I think he was having problems. He was
there was
with
a lot
the
of
IRS.
court case and stuff.
But that came, obviously... Well, there was more when he actually moved over there.
Yeah.
But obviously, he was testing. He tested his congregation to fuck. Do you know what I mean? To see if they were, you know, there. Yeah. And you know,
blindsided.
So we'd do stupid stuff like for control. So he was. So we got all of his main followers one night. Right. Now they used to do these things called like white nights. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, where he'd do these kind of tests on them. right?
Yeah.
So this was one of the first ones where, you know, obviously they weren't allowed to drink on the compound.
Yeah.
But this particular night, it said, oh, they're all allowed to have a drink.
Whoa.
Right? You got to drink like a bottle or something.
Yeah.
And they were all able to have a sip out of it, pass it on. And when he was convinced that everybody had had a drink, he announced that the drink had been poisoned and they all had 45 minutes to live.
Oh,
right?
shit.
So
must have been screams that night.
Mate, well, a lot of people were kind of just like accepting it. They were like, all right, I'm going to die here.
That's what we come for.
Yeah.
Right,
well, that's what I came here.
That's what I've been here for, waiting for.
I came here for the death. I stayed for the death.
Yeah, I've had a good time, but I've got to go now.
Well, a lot of them did fucking just accept it, and then but a lot of them didn't. They were like, the kids, what am I gonna fucking leaving the kids? What are you talking about? I've got the kids outside. But Jim Jones was like, no, it's all right.
I've got work tomorrow.
No, Jim Jones is like, no, don't worry about the kids. It's all right. We've got a nuclear bomb right outside. It's going to go off in about 45 minutes. It's all going to be fine. Yeah. They're like, what the fuck? You've got a nuclear bomb? He's like, well, yeah, I got it from Mexico.
Mexico?
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yeah.
What, a used one?
No, probably not. The way he was going on, obviously, this was like during the getting into the Cold War.
Yeah, so he's putting more frighteners in.
So, yeah, obviously, he's like, yeah, nukes. I've got a nuke. Yeah, I got it from Mexico. Man. So, you know, the idea of him having, and he said that he did. He said, I got this nuke and it's our protection from the government, so don't worry about it. But 45 minutes later, when nobody died, he went, it was all a joke. It was just a big test.
You're putting the wrong drink.
So, obviously, nobody died.
Yeah.
But he was kind of amazed at how many people were very accepting of it.
So it was a nice little test.
Yeah, and that's what he was doing. He was testing things, wasn't he? So, you know, but he, like I say, the nuke thing, that's fucking stupid. Where the fuck's he keeping a nuke? After this, he would brainstorm suicide options with his, his team. Yeah. Yeah, with his planning commission. Yeah. And they came up with a fair few options. They thought, well, we could get a plane, crash that.
Yeah, all at once.
Do whatever.
But there could be a chance that someone could survive.
They had a lot of weapons on the site as well. So, they were thinking maybe they could do a bullet to the head or whatever. But they settled on poison. And in the end, they bought a Dr. Shack bought a pound of cyanide for $8.
Oh, my days.
Yeah. Fucking
$8?
$8, man.
So you could kill over 900 people.
You can kill nearly 1,000 people with £8. Think about that.
Yeah.
Probably, how much do you reckon cyanide is these days?
Cyanide, you can get it, and you know what? You could get it inside, what do you call it? Not pears.
Kinder eggs.
No, there's some fruit, right? You know the pip inside? Cyanide. That's why they say don't swallow the pips.
It's not grapes, is it?
No. What's it called?
Come on, spit it out.
Oh, I can't. I've got the pip.
Plums?
Yeah.
Is it plums?
I think plums one of them, yeah.
Right, okay. So the cyanide, so you could basically make it.
Yeah, you could basically make it.
But they say it tastes like almonds. Just by rat poison. They say it tastes like almonds, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, cyanide.
Yeah.
Well,
but it stops. It basically stops your body from containing oxygen.
Yeah.
So you suffocate, and it's supposed to be one of the worst ways of dying.
Ugh.
Yeah. Suffocate slowly.
I don't like the idea of suffocation. Do you know, because obviously it's a long drawn out thing. Yeah. It's like drowning. Why would anyone want to kill themselves by drowning?
If you wanted to go
quick. Yeah. Just quick. Do you know what I mean? A
bullet to the head, man.
Bullet to the head probably is the quickest, but obviously I don't want to have to fucking sit there fucking watching myself die. That's fucking
going to hospital, right? And I know at the end of
and
this,
that's the same with poisoning as well, because it's not exactly a quick death. You're going to feel like shit for hours. You're going to start fucking internal bleeding.
Yeah.
You'll be alive long before you die.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So obviously they didn't think about the people there, did they?
No.
Fucking knobs.
Or use the CIA's heart attack gun.
Well, meanwhile, yeah. Obviously, Jonestown is starting to come up a bit. Yeah. He's done a bit of kind of deals with the Guyanan government, and he secured a big fucking lump of land. Yeah. spent a lot of money, putting it into there. From his parishioners. But it's for them, big paradise, isn't it?
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Now, it was kind of in the middle of nowhere, and the nearest sort of dock was about 30 miles away. Through thick jungle.
Yeah.
There was hardly any roots in, and obviously it was all grown jungle land out there, so we had to send a load of people out there to do a bit of prepping, get it all prepared.
Like big tractors that they needed to get into the area and out.
Yeah, they needed a full ground team, so we sent 60 people in the early 70s to start building and clearing the jungle away. Work was hard, but apparently everybody had a nice time. And it was a nice environment to live.
So it was like paradise?
So it was paradise for these 60 people. Obviously they've been out there. They've started being out there for, a good couple of years before before Jim Jones had turned up with everybody else.
Yeah.
So, don't forget this happened in 1978.
Yeah.
So there was a few years where there was a big amount of setting up to do.
Oh, yeah, you had houses, you had paths, you had...
roads, fucking agriculture.
Water. Yeah.
Yeah, you needed the whole fucking 9 yards. So, obviously...
but the agriculture there was absolutely terrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get to that in a second, because, Jim Jones, obviously propaganda guru, was able to make a spin on it.
Yeah.
And, get, good vibes going back to the People's Temple, because the People's Temple were like, what's going on?
Yeah,
we want to know. Have you got some sort of fucking booklet or pamphlet or anything? Because, you want us to move there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jim's like, well, I'll go out. I'll get some sort of, photographs and info about it. I want to see how the work's going on and all the rest of it. So Jim's gone out there and, started kind of realising that the fucking the temperature, it's a hotter climate, for a start, right? So some of the veg and shit they wanted to grow just wouldn't grow there. Then you've got the land that they were trying to grow on wasn't good enough for the crops they wanted to grow. Yeah. So they were just facing problems after problem. Do you know what
you have at the beginning?
And so what he'd do is he was going out there and basically saying, I've got he'd go to other villages and buy loads of fruit and veg.
Yeah.
Bring it all back to Jonestown.
Yeah.
And then take loads of photos with look at the bounty that we've got, here. It's amazing. You could literally only grow rice.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. That's all they could do.
No,
yeah.
You don't want that.
But he was kind of, people loved it. They were like, oh yeah, get on that. And in 1977, almost 1,000 people moved into the Jonestown town.
Yeah.
Which was just up the road from Georgetown in Guyana.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool sort of marketing idea that he's thrown Jonestown on there, literally up the road from Georgetown.
Yeah, but I guarantee the first thing he was thinking is it's got to be my name. It's got to be my name over the fucking place.
Well, that's it, innit? Jonestown, man, it's my fucking town.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jim's next door.
Even though you
paid
down
the road.
Well, another reason why, obviously, but obviously once the 1,000 people turned up,
problems turned into
everything started fucking going wrong, because, like you say, there was only 60 people there, and then all of a sudden there's 1,000 people.
Yeah.
A third of them are kids, a third of them are elderly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not everyone can work.
Yeah.
So obviously, some people are working a lot harder than others.
Yeah.
And it's not a distribution of, work, and wealth.
Yeah.
So, there was Jim Jones was basically now living with them as well.
Yes.
And the people could notice a lot more the drugs,
apparently it changed overnight when he turned up, because everyone was having the good time and the fun, and it was a paradise. But then as soon as he turned up overnight, like you said, the drugs and the weirdness and the rules and
the sort of the discipline and everything else came in. Well, this is it, because he'd brought his sort of enforcement team as well, hadn't he? Because all of a sudden, when you're out there and you're just working it and you're making it nice, then who's there to tell you what to do? But all of a sudden now there's a police, and that police are, putting the law down and creating new and exciting punishments. Yeah. All for the fucking glory of Jim Jones.
Yeah.
And it was his ego was just kind of way out there, so he gained a lot of weight. He was getting worse with the drugs. He was taking so many, all administered by Dr. fucking, what was his face? Dr. Shack. Dr. Shack. Because Dr. Shack had been working on the cyanide cocktail for him. So, like, to obviously, Dr. Shack's going, check one of these, this will sort you out.
Yeah.
And he's fucking,
he's got issues
he's wired to fuck.
Yeah.
So, Jim Jones is just, like, absolutely fucking falling apart at the seams, and people are starting to see the cracks. So, there was a lot of people, where we're not kind of living very well through either eating one meal a day, one meal a day of just rice, and
we're no paradise no more.
Guess what the only drink was?
Cool Whip.
Cool. Flavor Aid.
Flavor Aid.
Yeah. But back in the States, obviously, the People's Temple was still bringing in money. Yeah. So he was like,
right, I need it
now. Yeah. So, like, if he was to sell everything, they probably could have just ran the compound for a long time. When I'd more than rice to eat, but
if they could work an economic way of, like, feeding themselves, giving themselves water and little mod cons.
But there was people actually still going to the People's Temple. Obviously, not everybody moved over to Guyana. He wanted to kind of expand. So, like,
start off with 1,000.
Well, his wife actually, she stayed over there.
Right.
Running the People's Temple whilst Jim basically was fucking anyone he wanted and doing what he wanted, and drinking what he wanted and taking what drugs he wanted.
Proper bastard.
What a knob. So, he was kind of like tempted to put everything up for sale, but obviously for his own gratification, he wanted to keep it all going because it was his name.
Big man, wasn't it?
It was his name, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, when they obviously but he kept this plan of suicide going as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, was this his sort of like plan all along? Do you think?
Yeah. He seems one of them. I think the plan was in his mind for a long, long time.
Do you think so? Yeah.
I think he's thought about this long and hard, and it sounds like the manipulation and the way he's done it.
Well, I think he was a fucking psycho, and definitely thinking that was his end game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'd already tested him on more than one occasion. By doing the White Knight program. Basically doing these sort of fucking
drink that.
Well, not only that, there was so many other things. I mean, it's like this episode's going to be long enough. I don't really want to go into them all because some of them are pretty shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But like these types of things that he'd kind of do to keep people in fear. Now, Jim, like I say, was getting worse, and more fucking sadistic as time was going on, and the punishments were becoming more sadistic as well. That he was doing to his followers. He had an isolation box that he'd put people in. The beatings, the fucking whippings and paddlings continued.
Anything you can really think of.
And like I say, it was crimes as trivial as talking too much.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. That.
Where, and, not to say that there wasn't good times over at the compound, because obviously there were times when kids were playing and people were just enjoying.
I bet the kids absolutely loved it because they didn't know what was going on.
Of course, exactly, because as a child you don't really know, do you? Ignorant
little
bliss.
fuckers, yeah. I don't care what you adults are doing, just look after me.
But I think as they were getting older, some of them were like, I don't like this, I'd rather be... I'm starting to see this isn't such a happy place.
Yeah, because it would have been teenagers there.
Yeah, definitely. And teenagers are cynical little fuckers, aren't they, as well? So they probably were like, I want to listen to me records.
Yeah.
But like, obviously, these good times were, outweighed by the negative.
Yeah.
And Jim wouldn't even be like, we didn't even want one person to leave the compound.
No.
And where would they go? Because Jim had the passports, he had all the money. Yeah.
Yeah, everything they owned, really.
You couldn't really do anything apart from run into the jungle and hope for the best.
Yeah, and
considering there's a lot of fucking snakes and shit out in the jungle, it's like, would you really want to try and risk it?
It depends how far you want to push me.
Well, like I say, you could just run out into the jungle, but there was actually a train line. If you could make the train line, could get away. I think 11 people actually did it, but others were caught and brought back, and even said to anybody who betrayed him should be killed.
Yeah.
This is the words of Jim Jones. And even went as far as to stage his own a siege. So, I mean, he's done a fake suicide, or fake assassination, I should say, right? He went, this was his next big sort of stunt, right? He staged a siege on his own town, right?
Right, okay.
Yeah, he got his son.
Little freak.
He got his son and a few others of his kind of major followers to kind of go out into the tree line and, take shots at the town, right? So he's kind of like getting pot shots taken. Everyone's like fucking shitting themselves because he's told them that it's the Guyanan government, who were coming to fucking get him, right? And this lasted 6 days, right?
6 days?
Now, this was all off the back of the fact that the United States, Jim Jones has been called into court quite a few times for IRS issues and a lot of other fucking dodgy shit.
He's been caught out.
He'd never turned up, So,
did you?
Well, no, not at all, but he's in Guyana now, and does he really need to go back?
No.
Yeah, doesn't have to go. He's like in his own town. He shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
But it was when he started to get paranoid that the Guyanan government were getting involved. Because the Prime Minister just so happened to be going to a trip to America, and Jim Jones, being a paranoid fucking drug addict, was like, well, they're obviously going to talk about me. Yeah, right?
Of course. God, in the area.
Exactly, mate. They're going to fucking try and extradite me or something.
Yeah.
So he got all paranoid. Yeah.
As you do.
And started this siege, right? And, everyone was fucking mortified. Everyone was shit scared for 6 full days. He had them all in the kind of the main house or hut. And he was basically telling them that they were coming to kill them all. Yeah.
Freaking out.
And I think he was very close to
doing it there
and then. Yeah. And this was a fake siege. Do you know what I mean? But like after the 6 days ended, right?
Someone must have twisted his mail to say no, not now, not yet.
Not yet. Definitely.
You know what I mean? There's no point until something else happens.
Well, after the 6th day, there was a bit of a calm period.
Yeah.
But he was like, right, we need to go now. And back earlier on when I was saying that he was thinking about taking them all to Cuba.
Yeah.
He was like, right, we're all going to Cuba. There's a boat. We're getting a boat. So we made loads of elderly people and kids and everyone trekked 30 fucking miles 30 kilometres through the jungle to the dock.
Yeah.
And they only turned back because one girl twisted her ankle or something. And he went, well, fuck it, we'll all go back. Do you know what I mean?
What the fuck? He just took them out for a walk. Well, hold on then. If they took
We told them all that they might get shot on the way. Do you know, like he fucking put the fear of God into their head. Yeah. Because
but what was happening back at the town then if they dragged all them all the way out to come back all
Who
the way
knows?
back?
Something might have
Something
had
must
other
have been
stuff
going on back
on.
then, that's
Maybe.
what makes me think. Something was.
Obviously, this siege had gone on for 6 days, and Jim Jones was like, straight away when they got back to the compound, he got onto the ham radio, and he's been in touch with the People's Temple, and he's told them that they're getting shot at, and the Guyanan government's coming to get them.
Okay.
Yeah. So straight away they've gone out to the embassies and stuff and
started protesting.
Oh no, they got hold of the Prime Minister who happened to just be in the area. Right.
Yeah.
So he gets on the radio. He says, "Listen, we're not coming to get you. Don't worry about it." Right.
Okay.
So Jim's gone out and said, "We won."
Oh.
Yeah. Right. They're not going to come in. They're leaving us alone now.
But I think that's a bad move because now you're letting the Guyanan government know that you think something's going on. You're getting them now suspicious that something's going on.
I think that's what actually happened because literally over a period of weeks after that, Jim Jones carried on more of these white knight experiments, trying to keep him in a constant fear.
Yeah.
So like every other day, apparently some of the people who lived there said they went up to about 90 of these. Yeah, over the following months, right? Up until the point where
they didn't care anymore. What? Well, yeah, it's a sort of mind control kind of thing. If you're doing it all the time, he ain't gonna fucking kill us. Bang bang. He ain't gonna do this. He ain't gonna do that. Because every time we've come in here, 90 times I've had a drink. No, nothing's happened. I've walked away. the fuck? He ain't going to do it. He's all mouth, no action. But then didn't realise.
He's all mouth, no trousers.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's...
Well, obviously, do you know, like, there was obviously it's a horrifying story.
Yeah.
You know, but
yeah,
like,
by far, man.
if you think about going into it, you know, like, you want to find out why this happened, you know, and, you know, one person who was very interested in the, you know, the compound.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people back home, you know, in the
States.
in the States, who were kind of still going to the People's Temple.
Yeah.
And they wanted to know what was going on. They were really interested, you know, they wanted to know if the families were safe, the people who'd gone over there.
I want to see them photos with all them cabbages and apples.
Yeah,
and
they
all
want
that
to see them all having a good time. Why is there nothing coming back? And the only word we're getting back is kind of they're getting shot at and stuff. Is everybody okay? So one person who was very interested was Congressman Leo, what was he called?
I can't remember.
Oh, he was called Leo.
Ryan, was
Ryan.
it? Ryan.
Yeah, Leo Ryan. So Leo Ryan was very interested. He wanted to go out and see for himself.
Yeah.
Do you know, like, check out what the crack was, and, you know, find out if this paradise was
what he says it is,
was what it cracked up to be.
Yeah.
The party was basically made up of Congressman Ryan, his secretary, a couple of reporters and cameramen. They all flew out to Jonestown to check out the place, and basically plenty of the relatives and members of the People's Temple who'd been worried, rightfully so, about their loved ones. Yeah. And Leo Ryan had gone out to check out the lay of the land for himself.
Yeah, he wanted to know what the hell's going on over there.
So the party arrived at Jonestown and made sure everybody had their plastic smiles on. They were on the best behaviour, obviously at the request of Jim Jones.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, everybody was kind of like this happy community. And on first impressions, I think Leo Ryan thought, this is quite nice, this.
Yeah.
Do you know, like...
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
He's definitely going back and, you know, giving good reports.
Yeah.
But over the time he was there, he started seeing a few things that he wasn't too sure about. And then, like, literally one of the NBC reporters...
Yeah.
I think he was called Donny.
Donny.
Don Harris.
Harris, yeah.
He was given a piece of paper from one of the parishioners, and basically saying, "I want to get out of here. Can you help us?" And you know, slipped him a note.
Yeah.
So obviously Leo got hold of the note, and he was like, "Right, well, if there's anybody here who wants to come with us, you know."
Yeah, because there was a little girl as well, because the reporter decided to walk round and, you know, ask around.
Oh, of course, yeah. And Jim Jones
film.
was fucking livid. Yeah.
And this little girl, was like the first one to say, "Yeah, I want to go home. I want to go back."
Well, they interviewed him as well, didn't they? In the NBC interview,
he was pissed. He
was so pissed off that people were coming into his town and insinuating that it wasn't.
Everyone wants to leave.
Yeah, and that they were being held there against the will. You know, that he was fucking furious, right? So I think 15 people decided to leave with Congressman Ryan on the day. And
they had to contact the government to get another
plane in.
It took about half an hour, so they was still there for about half an hour.
In that time, obviously, they've made it back to their plane. They started to load up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was when Jim Jones gave the order to his henchmen, his gun goons, to go and fucking follow him. Yeah, with the specific order not to let him take off.
Yeah.
And obviously, it was fucking heartbreaking, shocking, but basically they gunned down how many people?
5 people.
5 people. Yeah. I think some people managed to get on the plane and off, didn't they? They managed it, Right, but 5 people, including Don Harris, were murdered whilst trying to leave. Even Congressman Leo Ryan was killed, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was actually shot 20 times.
20 times? Yeah.
So he was definitely, you know, he was one of them that, like, he can definitely not leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They had shows running. And then you had the cameraman as well who died, Bob Brown. He was killed. The sound man, though, and the field producer luckily escaped at that time. But his secretary, who is now a congresswoman.
Right, fucking hell.
Jackie Spears. She is.
Well, fucking back in Jonestown, Jones was making a tape which started basically him talking about, you know,
what they're about to do,
how the government are going to be coming, you know.
That nuke's going to go off in,
45 minutes, you know.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, he was basically, he knew this was
death
it.
Speech,
this was
basically.
the end, Right, and obviously you can find the death tapes on YouTube.
Yeah, they are on YouTube.
If you wanted to have a look, we'll try and link them in the description or put them on the website.
Yeah.
But generally, he'd signed their death warrants that when he sent that party off to kill Congressman Ryan.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because
he was not going to get away with that.
Because there's no way that, I mean, he prepared them for it, and he said, these people coming to kill us. We've got enemies. Yeah,
but it's him who's really set it off.
Well, yeah, because if he wasn't there, then none of it had happened, because nobody would be setting those fuses.
Yeah,
lighting the fuse. He by setting that order, it was it. That was it. So he's gone back and he started a sermon. Yeah, and he preached on how this CIA and everybody else, the US government, the Guyanan government, they're going to siege the place.
Yeah.
All your kids are going to go.
Yeah.
And,
you'll never see him again. And
it was a case of that he basically came out with the poison mixture and said, you either drink it with me or, you face whatever comes. Yeah. Yeah. And I think 600 people had actually drank the Flavor Aid.
Yeah. But
whereas 300 and so much more were forced by rather lethal injection or gunshot.
Yeah, most of them kids. That was around about 300.
Yeah. They had a nurse who lined up and dished out the Flavor Aid mixture, the Kool-Aid, and obviously, they had basically babies, toddlers, small children. Were issued with a mixture first, and followed by the teenagers, and then the teens they would basically be taken outside and injected and shot. It's just fucking grim. Do you know what I mean? When
I watched a bit on it, when I tried to find the guy's name, I couldn't remember the guy's name, and he said like he was like one of the circle, and he was told just before they all got called together to carry this suitcase to the Russian embassy with someone else. Now, at that time, he had a little girl and his wife, and they were sent to the big room for everyone to drink.
Yeah.
So, as he went away to go and get the stuff, and
I think the guy you're talking about, he was one of his he'd been with them for 25 years.
Yeah.
I think he was one of their first sort of like, African American families who came to his church.
Yeah.
And they were like, loved the guy, but they got to that point where did he not run away?
Well, no, he got told he had to send this suitcase to the Russian.
That was right. Yeah, because it had a load of all the information in there about the...
Well, it was something to do with money. He had money. So he was paying something off.
Right, okay.
So him and another woman had to go, and as he's leaving the area, he had to carry on walking as he heard his daughter and his wife like dying back there. But when I watched the storyline on it, it was so heartbreaking.
Yeah,
it was bad.
Well, after everybody had died, Jim Jones shot himself with a shotgun.
Yeah,
the coroner's report basically said shotgun wound to the face was the cause of death. And obviously it's a sad story, because obviously there was 900 people there who believed in community. They believed in
working something right,
working for themselves and working for each other, and it ended in such tragedy.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's such a horrible story to tell
from the one that you were supposed to.
I mean, there's some comedy bits in there. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Jim Jones was a fucking character.
Yeah,
and the whole Reverend Divine, and even down to him selling spider monkeys for fucking revenue.
Yeah,
he's just comical, but you know, it was all lessons that he learned and kind of ways that he learned to work with people and how to kind of manipulate people and how to kind of use things to his use things to his advantage and refined it to a point where, you know, he was able to kind of
manipulate big time,
and make it so meteorite. But it meteorically threw him up into this fucking godlike status. Now, obviously, there's a lot more that went in after this, because obviously the next day, they returned to Jonestown. To just a brutal scene. At first, you know, obviously the helicopters flying over, and there's NBC News footage on YouTube if you want to check it out. Which is
quite a lot. I'm surprised how much.
When you first see that footage, it looks like Glastonbury. After Glastonbury's, everyone's gone home, and it's just a shit tip. And it's just things strewn all over the place. And it's only when the helicopter lands that you actually realise what these things are. And the people, you know what I mean? Bodies everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Because unlike cults like the Heaven's Gate, they didn't go around putting a shroud over everybody. It was just literally they died where they fell. And, you know, Jim Jones just literally walked around that until everybody was dead. And he was the last one to go. Do you know what I mean?
He made sure that he was the last.
You know, the story continues a little bit more with kind of like the newspapers and the media getting onto it afterwards. And obviously there's been movies like Paradise Lost and, you know, documentaries and books. A bit of material, bit of information we got from tonight's show was, we didn't even talk about Mr. Muggs. He had, do you know, like we're talking about his monkeys. He had an ape. Like fucking Clyde. Called Mr. Muggs. And he said it was kind of like, this is it because he was such a nice guy. That he said he rescued this monkey from a animal testing lab.
Well, he nicked it out of the jungle.
Probably did, mate. You know, we probably fucking bought it or something.
Tortured the little fucker and went, right, you're doing as I say. Before I do it to the adults, I've got to make sure it works.
Fucking animal testing, innit?
Yeah.
Let's see, do some animal testing on Mr.
that's why
Muggs.
he was with the monkeys, you know what I mean? He was testing them out first.
Well, books that you can kind of get some more information from. Really good book was Road to Jonestown. There's plenty of documentaries. I've watched so many documentaries on this topic recently. Obviously, I'll put a link in description where you can pick up these books. We big thanks to EJ as well, who contributed a lot of research towards this topic tonight. Thank you so much.
Done a cracking job there,
Done a lovely job. In fact, EJ goes on with a lot more information and personal, introspection, I suppose. Obviously, there's so much about the survivors, and you know everybody who was involved, and all the information that came out afterwards. But obviously, it's such a long topic. We're so running out of time. So we wanted to kind of just leave it there, to be honest. But hopefully we'll see if EJ will let us kind of pop some of this on the website as well, so you can see it.
So pop over and have a look.
But she has got a blog coming up, cult related. So we'll keep an eye out for that. That'll be available in the next, say, couple of days. It'll probably be available. It's probably already available. Go to the website now. It's there.
You'll find out.
Also, we've got a great blog on magic mushrooms and the use of microdosing by EJ there as well. Plus,
I believe a lot of that around.
A lot of people are microdosing these days. Silicon Valley and all that, mate, keeps you focused. Razor edge. Well, if you want to do a bit of that, check out the blog first, see if it's down for you. Also, there's a new blog from me, which is basically all the previously released UFO documents that are available on the website at the moment. So if you want to go back, because now they've announced that they're going to be releasing the UFO UKX files.
Can't wait.
And even some older stuff. But basically, the previously released stuff went back as far as like 2009.
Yeah.
So like literally everything that's happened since, and even some older stuff's going to get re-released or released into the world.
Properly released.
So I thought we'll stick some of the other stuff up then, so people can kind of see what the sort of stuff that they've already released.
I'm going to go on just to have a look at that.
Oh, yeah. Well, all the links are there. If you go into the blog,
it,
there's a load of links.
Yeah.
You're able to go to all the documents through those links. So get on it.
Sweet.
Another reason to go to the website.
Yes.
Yeah. Talking about the website, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got loads of stuff on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to go and check it out.
Stuff on there, say.
I've just been showing him how to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, look forward to those. But yeah, thank you, EJ. Thank you, Taylor. It's been a really good episode.
Thank you yourself.
I think we're coming up to the news.
Yes.
So, without further ado. It's the news. And we got lots of news for you today. Plenty of news. We've got fucking tons of news. But because the episode's quite a long episode.
Yeah.
We've slimmed it down a little bit. So we've got bits and bats.
Yeah.
So anything you want to talk about this week? Anything been happening in the world that's ground your gears?
Oh,
if you like.
There's always something. Well, in fact, there's a fight that's going to happen in about an hour's time.
Oh, God,
actually, about 2 hours time.
No, it's already happened, innit?
No.
By the time the episode goes out.
Oh, yeah.
It's done.
Yeah.
Done and dusted.
Yeah.
Man won. Man won, other man lost.
Yeah.
In record-breaking bout.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
In a nutshell.
Tyson Fury v. Wilder II.
All right, so who've you got your money on in the past?
I reckon Wilder, to be honest.
Well, we'll see, won't we? Because we will be right.
Well, I'll see Tyson get it.
Oh, Tyson's mint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Tyson.
But
Fury.
I think Wilder just get it.
Well, I don't know. I've not seen Wilder box. Knockouts. I've got to be honest. But
you know what I mean? 45 knockouts.
Is that what Wilder's had?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell, well in.
Yeah. So and he seems to be trimming up. So
good luck, boys.
Let's see what happens.
See you some big money on the boxing.
Yeah, it's Vegas, isn't it?
Yeah, Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
You know what they say about Vegas, don't you?
What?
You go there with a few quid, you come back with fuck all.
Yeah, absolute fuck all, including a house, because your mortgage is gone.
Yeah, they'll take it as well.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like, what goes on in Vegas stays in Vegas. Goes in Vegas stays in Vegas
and doesn't leave there. Yeah. It's like a black hole.
I've got a story here about a mum. She's been earning 95 quid an hour.
Hey,
nothing like, kind of like that. She started her own naked cleaning service.
Hey, good girl.
Yeah, Claire O'Connor worked as a hotel cleaner but decided to quit and set up her own firm rather than the usual business idea.
She's got a little niche on.
She's a mum of 3. She's been earning up to £95 an hour cleaning strangers' homes while completely naked.
What, with the strangers in there?
I'm assuming so. Setting up her unusual business, Claire O'Connor, who's 35, used to work in hospitality and hotel cleaning and saw a gap in the market.
Yeah.
So she set up, she quit a job and set up her own naked cleaning company. And it's Fantasy Clean. If you want to get your house cleaned by Claire.
Yeah, have you got a number there?
There's no number,
right, okay.
But I'm pretty sure you could Google the company, Taylor, if you were that bothered.
Yeah, my house is a bit dirty at the minute.
Just see how far she has to travel.
Well, yeah.
You're going to pay her 95 quid an hour?
Well, no. We'll come to some arrangement.
She cleans other people's homes in the buff or wearing lingerie.
Good on you, girl.
But she's got a very strict set of ground rules.
Yeah.
She said there's no hanky-panky, no touching, no taking photos, and no extras.
Yeah.
It's all just doing the housework.
Hey, fair enough. Hey, that's what you're paying for.
Do you not remember the two on, what was it, Eurotrash?
No.
But there were two dudes.
Oh, yeah.
In posing pouches, and they just go out fucking cleaning houses.
Yeah. Hey, if there's a market, though. If there's a market,
Totally.
Would you do it for 95 quid an hour?
Probably, to be honest.
I'd do it for
I don't think anyone would want to see that, to be fair. But you've got like I say, anybody if you're making a crust, working for working for a living.
Yeah.
If you're doing it,
go for it, girl. Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, good thinking of an enterprise, and it's obviously working because she's made the paper.
She's making the papers. Yeah, maybe it's one of the. Maybe one of the fucking reporters is hired her. That's how she's made it into the papers. One of the fucking Mirror executives is going, Claire comes round my house. Yeah. She does a top job with the duster.
Hey, the girl's getting paid. Don't matter.
Well, I'm going from a mum who's doing a bit of naked cleaning to a dad who's just being damn right abusive. To basically,
damn right abusive.
A dad leaves his 14-year-old child at an airport after she realised that her passport had expired.
Go on, son.
Yeah.
You ain't ruining my holiday.
He just got on the plane and left.
And it was a 14-year-old girl?
Yeah, a little 14. So, dad left his 14-year-old daughter at an airport.
Security
after they discovered that she only had 2 months left on her passport. And he still went anyway. What a fucking tight dad that is.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You get a reputation for being dickheads, dads. Come on, sort your necks.
Yeah, but how much did it cost?
Did
he get his money back?
Well, it's probably why. Dad, is it at all protected? No.
Hold on. If she had 2 months left.
No, but you're not allowed to fly if you've only got a few months on your passport. What? It's technically out of date. Talking about passports, actually, have you seen the new post-Brexit passport is now blue? Yeah.
All right, I'm going to
They're bringing out a new passport, which is the blue one. But it's made in a Polish factory.
Yeah.
So that's
partly
interesting.
French as well. Probably have to do with it as well.
What, the paper or something?
Yeah, in fact, it was a French company that got the go-ahead.
It's fucked up, innit?
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
This guy's obviously going on his holiday. One dad and his wife and a child thought that he had found the perfect break to relax. After saving up, the dad and his wife and his 3 children agreed to go a holiday abroad. But obviously his 14-year-old daughter had previously, from a previous relationship, had already been on holiday overseas with a mum.
Yeah.
And her 2 youngest children.
Yeah.
Abroad. But obviously when they got to the airport, they just basically thought she had a passport sorted. But
so
when
they didn't bother checking.
Didn't check it. That's the problem. So obviously always check your passports because you don't want to be in a situation where you've got to leave. You'd rather lose your holiday or you leave your kid.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But the fact is,
well, he answers the question, doesn't he, really?
The kid's 14, to be honest, right? Now, I'm not being funny. This guy should be done for fucking child abuse.
Child neglect.
Child neglect, yeah. That's fucking awful, that, that kid must have been mortified. Not only that the fact that she's not able to go on the family holiday, which is bad enough. The fact that the parents just left her in the airport.
Well, did the mum leave as well?
Well, she must have been because she was going with, rather his stepmom.
Well, yeah,
you know what I mean?
True.
Now, I don't know if what
they're
the relationship's
thinking,
like
I don't
there.
care, it's your situation.
Fuck that. What a dick.
Yeah.
Got nothing good to say about you, mate.
No.
Well, anyway, have you got anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, actually, prediction supposedly happened in 1981 in a book called
Good year, that.
Yeah.
I was born in 1981.
No, I was back.
If you can guess how old I am, then you get a prize.
52.
Fuck you.
No, thank you. It's called The Eyes of Darkness, and in there it
sounds like a Stephen King novel. Go on, what's about?
Yeah, it's got this from
this was from Mr. Whitty, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, well in Mr. Whitty for sending
nice one, Mr. Whitfield. But it was interesting. There's interesting little comments.
Well, wasn't it
there
about Wuhan for a start? Go on. So what's the prediction? Was it a prediction for this year?
Yeah, there was actually a prediction for this year that the only way to stop it was through an electric current. The only way you could stop this disease, and it would be worldwide within 2020.
Wow.
And
and what is it from a book called the
Eyes of Darkness?
The Eyes of Darkness
by Dean.
We'll get it linked in. Yeah, we'll get it. We'll put a link in the description so you can go and get it if you want it.
Yeah,
but it covers like the Wuhan 400.
Yeah, it names
which you were telling me about. And are these all? Is the four? Am I assuming that the 400 are the predictions?
I think so.
These 400 predictions that they've made.
It looks like it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now these were predictions made in 1981. So the books was published in 1981.
Much. Oh, yeah, so someone's put this prediction in, and near enough, these little comments that I'm slightly reading is there's a lot of connection to it. I've got to say, I do have to say that like I might even buy this book just to have a look to see actually what if this is.
Well, like I say, I'll stick a link in the description.
Yeah, it's a bit weird actually, but it's a bit Nostradamus, but it's.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Nostradamus predictions. Yeah. I mean,
big
to be
fan,
honest,
man. Big fan.
Big fucking thing, right? Every time we do a Nostradamus episode, it's like one of our kind of big episodes. People seem to love it and download it.
Yeah, because you seem to have that.
It's all perspectives and kind of like, oh, well, what's he saying this year?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which there's a lot of years to come.
Get a lot of episodes out of a Nostradamus. You could do one at least a year.
Yeah.
It's not that we do. We might not do one next year. No. We might. You never know.
Hey, you never know. Yeah, the only way to find out is to
subscribe.
Stay tuned.
I've got a cat on me. What do you want to say? Something?
Meow.
Yeah, food. Feed me. Feed me. Feed me. Well, I've got this story. A shameless crook uses a court appearance as a photo shoot op.
Oh, genius!
He was basically trying to boost his modelling career. So he was basically in high probation of criminals who appear at court, all due to avoid the press. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a high population of criminals. Sorry. They'll hide under umbrellas or put the hoods up, or hide the face.
Yeah.
This guy, an out of work mechanic, 21-year-old. Appeared in court after he was caught carrying a knuckle duster at a retail park in Bristol.
What the fuck's he carrying one of them for?
But he was it wasn't obviously it was an offensive weapon. And he could have
got up to 5 years for that.
Yeah, could have got done.
Yeah.
But like obviously he's gone to court.
Yeah.
And
took the opportunity.
Paparazzi are outside, and he started striking poses, doing a bit of blue steel.
And now he's doing it in Paris.
Oh, is he?
No, I don't know. Probably.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, he might be in Milan this week.
He's donning a pair of blue jeans and a sporting jacket.
Yeah,
black
come
t-shirt.
Out of court.
Black North Face jacket. Yeah. Looking like, he's smooth as fuck.
Oh, what the Hey, you know what, though?
I tell you what,
for opportunity.
I give you do you know what? The photographer wasn't much cop. I'll give you that much.
Oh, but for opportunity, I've got to give it him, you know what I mean? He got free press there. You didn't have to pay for it. It's going to be it should be worldwide now. It's on the net. So
yeah, defo.
So good on you. And any little opportunity, go for it.
Go on. Have you got anything else you want to talk about?
The Royals.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Because they're not royal anymore, are they?
Well, they are actually until April.
Well, they've stepped down. I mean, they've officially stepped down from royal duties now. And they're not using the titles,
but they've
either.
Still got little duties to do till April.
It's all tying up, though, isn't it? It's all just loose ends.
It's all finishing all the business.
Has this ever happened before, do you think? Has this ever happened where someone's just abdicated?
Abdicated for another American.
Don't want to be here.
Was it George? I think it was George.
What was that?
Prince George, I think it was. One of the princes abdicated. He was known as the traitor king.
Oh, right, yeah.
He wasn't actually a traitor. He was actually to get him.
And what was it? He abdicated because of an American chick?
An American woman.
Well, they're very nice, the American girls.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Little beauties, man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
Do you know what? It's like, it's enough to give up your kingdom for, innit?
Yeah, but the question is, will it come back?
Well, who knows? Well, if they end up divorcing, is he allowed to come back and take up his royal duties again? Or is he forever known a duke?
No, I believe he can do.
Fair play.
Yeah.
All
But it's going to be one of them again, like, you know, bit embarrassing, you know.
Of course, it's going to be a little bit embarrassing, isn't it?
Yeah, good luck to him to.
I think he's a good guy. That
I
lad.
like him, yeah.
And you know, he's a ginger, but you can't hold that against him.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But he, like I say, on all fairness, they get out of all the royals.
Yeah,
he's the one that I actually like. Really think he's
a
nice guy.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Like and actually down to earth.
Yeah.
Whereas the others, I feel like they're out of touch. Whereas Harry's one of the boys, do you know what I mean? Like he's done his service, and even all of his servicemen turn around and say, "Nah, he's just our kind of, mate."
Yeah,
so he's good.
Yeah,
like him.
Well, he gets to keep his stripes as well.
They said that they were going to take him off him, so
no,
you know what I mean.
Allowed to command now. He's not.
Is he not?
His command's been taken away from him.
See this. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like he's just been honorary given this stuff. He's been out and served.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He should be able to keep his fucking his stuff like that.
No, because it's like nearly every part of the royal
if you think he should, tell us in the fucking comments, because I tell you what, I don't think. I mean, at the end of the day, by stepping down, maybe it's insulting to the Queen or whatever. But the fact is,
he's stepping down.
He's done his rip, mate. It's not like he's fucking just been. It's not like he's just been handed his stripes and done fuck all.
That's why he's kept them. He's kept them, but he's just not allowed to command a command now.
Well, they're still taking something away from him, isn't it? Really.
Well, no. Well, it was his choice. He knew what he was.
Well, fair play. Maybe if he just doesn't really care about that anymore, then. But I just think it's fucking shady that the fact that they're able to kind of take so much away from him just because he doesn't want to do one particular aspect.
Well, I think it's more of the pressure from the press, and he doesn't want what happened to his mum to happen to his wife.
He put so much time and effort into like a lot of these causes.
Yeah.
As his official role is a
royal.
Yeah. That to say you can't do these or have any affiliation with them
he
anymore.
can do him, but he just can't. He can't have it as royal. He's not royal no more. He won't be royal in April.
Well, it doesn't matter. He's the same old Harry to us.
Well, yeah, he's still going to be.
Good luck
Harry
to him.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Harry, which I know you do every week. Yeah. Because you told me last time.
We get your text messages.
You told me last time you were called me up.
Yeah.
For a chat.
Yeah.
And a brew.
Yeah.
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 Next time. Anyway, have you got anything else before we move on to NASA news?
He likes a as well,
Oh, yeah, he likes a fucking bong here too. Yeah, old Harry.
Oh, yeah. Old Harry?
Well,
he's not old yet.
No, he's younger than me.
Yeah, he's definitely younger than you.
I think I'm more his brother's age, to be honest. But I've got more hair.
Oh, we're going there. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He didn't help him on his hair, but
he's got his dad's hair.
Man. Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
But I do like him. He's a good man.
Well, William.
Yeah,
King William.
Yeah,
King Willie.
Well, he will be soon.
Do you reckon that's what he'll be known as, King Willie?
No, I don't think they're
King Will.
I think he'd stamp that out before.
King William.
Yeah, I think his foot will be right on the grass.
He can't stop us.
Give that.
Can't stop.
I bring back the guillotine.
Fuck it. It's worth it.
Up, boys.
It's worth it. Oh, hail King Willie! Come on.
Yeah, imagine everyone shouting that.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Palace.
That's what I want outside
King
the palace.
Willie. King Willie.
On Coronation Day.
Your King Willie.
Yeah, on Coronation Day, I want to hear the masses shouting King Willie. Hashtag King Willie.
Nah, you can't do it.
Done. It's done.
That'll be funny though.
It's done. Hashtag King Will.
Yeah.
King Willie.
I think we should. I think we should set this up now.
Right. Yeah. So Coronation Day comes. We've got a lot of time. Queen's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
So,
although I have heard rumours that there was talk about her abdicating as well, but she can't.
Well, if she abdicates, I'm taking her stripes off her as well. She's not allowed to command fuck all.
Yeah. I've heard that she's getting ready to stand down.
Anyway, well, good on her. I reckon. I reckon she'll give Charles the opportunity for a little bit. Listen, I think we've discussed this.
I reckon we've discussed one day, yeah.
King for the day. Yeah. What are you going to do with your King Day?
Yeah.
I have nothing. I'm just going to sit on the throne.
Do what I usually do. I'll go into the garden.
Yeah. Play a bit of polo.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from the Royals.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else before we go on to NASA news?
Well, I've got... Oh, that's NASA. No.
No? So it's just NASA news then, really,
well,
innit?
There is, but...
Go on. Hit me with your rhythm stick.
All right, then. Right. You know this Maxwell woman who was Epstein?
Oh, yeah.
Right, now, there's a woman...
Well, Prince Andrew's just been fucking told, Danny, that he's... apparently someone's come out and said Prince Andrew groped somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, did you not know that?
Yeah, that's regular, man.
That's fucking knowledge. Yeah. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Well, who was she? What happened?
Taking photos. Right, well, alleged that Maxwell had said that in conversations with her that she had tapes on everyone.
Right.
Every single one. Epstein ended up buying an helicopter to fly around.
Apparently he was spending his money on all sorts, though. He was putting money into mad shit.
But he didn't want... The reason why he did that is because he didn't want eyes and ears from the pilots to find out what was been going on. So it looks like there's documentation and videos that are out there that could actually put her and him more guilty, and if they get all the tapes, or the guilty party, which I can't see happening, but there is still a chance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This woman's actually gone to the FBI, told them she used to know her in the 90s.
I used to know you in the 90s. I remember when you used to wear baggy jeans.
Apparently really disturbing conversations.
And Nirvana hoodies.
It was like, you sick bitches.
What bitch?
What the fuck's going on?
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So fucking there's a lot of people going to be up against the wall. Is that the feeling?
So, because I told you, was it last week or the week before? Barclays, was it Barclays CEO?
Yeah.
Was a really good friend of his.
Yeah.
Apparently, and these started being questioned.
Did we talk about Kevin Spacey last week?
I think we've talked a little bit about it.
Oh, right, okay. Well,
Go on.
Oh, nothing. Just because, like, I think because we were talking about the getting away with murder thing. I'm not sure if we actually included it or not, but we were talking about how Kevin Spacey's all of his accusers.
Yes.
Are just mysteriously dying. I was wondering if there was any update on that.
Any more victims?
So,
there probably is.
I'm going to have a look into it. I'll let you know. Keep you updated on the Kevin Spacey saga.
Yeah.
But the guy's comedy. I mean, he's comedy, but he's like a mafia boss at the same time.
Do you reckon he's that?
I don't know. I really don't know. He's honestly one of those guys where it's like, did you know he was fucking Kaizo Sose or whatever?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I thought he was in from the start.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Well, fucking, there's a lot of people who didn't.
Well, I'm a clever bastard, aren't I?
Oh, you fucking... Anyway. Right, well, moving on to NASA news.
Yeah, NASA.
Did you know the NASA Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter was taking 2 weeks off?
Oh, what bullshit.
It's having a holiday.
What? Alien ships leaving the area or something?
Well, no. Well, obviously, the Mars rovers like Curiosity and the upcoming Mars 2020, which will get most of the attention. But the spacecraft that orbits around the planet plays a vital role in scientific investigation on Mars as well.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
One of the busiest Mars orbiters has been NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, or the MRO, which was launched in 2005 and arrived on the Red Planet to begin investigations in 2006. Since then, it has been sent back to Earth over 371 terabytes of data.
That's a shitload.
That's a lot, isn't it?
That is a lot.
Oh, yeah. It's having a week. It's having a fortnight off.
It's having a week off?
Yeah, because it needs maintenance. It needs maintenance, so do you know what I mean?
Well, we're going up there.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Fly our spaceship next to it.
No, because it'll all be like firmware updates and stuff, won't it? Where they'll just boot it up.
Yeah.
They'll turn it off.
Yeah.
Run some new software. Get it all kind of like doing like new stuff.
Yeah, they're getting.
It's like what we did with the road. It's like what we did with the Roadcaster Pro last couple of weeks ago. We updated firmware, and it's like a totally new machine now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Does bits that we could only dream of.
Yeah.
And recommend it.
A dream now.
Yeah, get your firmware update done.
Yeah, it's worth it, definitely.
Definitely.
Have
also,
you seen this about the UFO There's supposed to be some vehicle that has been spotted on Google Earth of Mars.
Google Earth. Wait, I love that. Yeah. Wait a minute. Did you just say Google Earth of Mars?
Yeah.
Like John Carter?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
So it's not just called Google Mars?
No.
Google Earth of Mars. Okay. Yeah. Hashtag Google Earth of Mars.
Yeah, because it comes from us, doesn't it? You know what I mean?
I'm loving the hashtags.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Someone reminded me of a hashtag that we did way back in the day. What was it?
Oh, spunked.
No, spunked comes up. Hashtag spunked comes up quite a lot. Yeah. But if you do click that hashtag on Twitter, it doesn't come up with. It comes up with some pretty seedy shit.
Oh, yeah. See.
But
no, it means money.
It was the money hungry hoes.
Oh, money hungry hoes. Yeah.
Money hungry hoes.
Money hungry hoes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway,
a lot of them.
Out of context, but what was we talking about?
Mars. Funny enough,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, you was. You were looking on Google Earth of Mars.
No, I wasn't, but somebody
was
spotted a picture of a ship.
I seen this. Wasn't this the ship that was supposed to be sailing across the planet?
Yeah,
yeah. We talked about this. I think.
Did we?
Yeah, I think so. But crack on, because I don't think I did a very good job of it.
No, well, I don't remember it. So you probably didn't.
Oh, well, all right. No
just because I don't remember it. All right, I would have said, if I remembered it, it would have been in the back of burner of the head, and I would have gone.
It's just proof that he doesn't listen to me. I'm so upset.
What?
I don't know. Go on, crack on.
What are you talking about now?
So go on. Have you got more information about this?
No, just have a look on Google, and you'll find it
on Google
on
Earth,
the news. Yeah,
on Google Earth of Mars.
Yeah, apparently, someone's bringing pictures. Well, there's loads of people.
I did hear about it, and it was supposed to be like a ship or a galleon.
Yeah.
But, like, was it... Because when in the description, it made it out like it was sailing across, right? But obviously, there's no movement. It's a photograph.
Yeah.
So was it stationary or... Yeah, was it just a shape?
I think it's... Yeah, it's
now, again, it's pareidolia.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking at these things and seeing something in them. Like when you look up a cloud.
Needs something more concrete.
I see faces in stuff all the time, right? In shapes and patterns and stuff, right?
Yeah.
I don't see it as a kind of like, oh shit, there's Elvis or there's fucking Jesus. Yeah. I just go, man, I've got a mad imagination.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That my mind can conjure up a shape, and it's all primitive, man. It all goes back to the primitive days where, you know, you learn to kind of recognize shapes and forms.
Well, I see,
and your brain just tunes into this stuff, and you're able to see. And it's basically called pareidolia. Yeah. And it's basically seeing faces in things.
Yeah.
And shapes and other stuff. It's nothing kind of thingy, but
when people
are looking on Mars, they're seeing a lot of things or shapes
that
their minds conjure up.
Yeah.
Well, what does my head remind me of that shape? Oh, it's a boat. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it might be the shape and look very similar to a boat, but whether it's actually a boat, and when we do send a rover up, if it's just going to be a rock, 99% chance it's going to be a rock.
Yeah, or if it isn't a rock, we're going to be told it is a rock.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
so you're not going to find out.
It's just a rock,
anyway.
boys.
Yeah.
It's just a rock.
Yeah, you see.
I mean, unless it's got sails and a fucking Captain Jack Sparrow riding the fucking, you know what I mean?
Waving at you, go.
Hey,
you know
waving his fucking sword about.
Yeah.
Then not buying it.
Yeah, well, this is it. It always reminds me, going back to the brain, of seeing stuff. Well, everything you see is not what is actually there. It's only what your brain's telling you what's there.
Well, a bit more NASA news here. Well, more climate change news.
Oh.
NASA satellite imagery reveals dramatic melting in Antarctica after record heat wave.
Yes.
So, we were talking about this earlier, weren't we? Because earlier this month, temperatures in Antarctica appeared to reach record-breaking 64.9 degrees Fahrenheit, matching the temperature in LA that day. New images released by NASA show a dramatic ice melt caused by a heat wave phenomenon that has become more and more common.
Yeah, which I was saying, like, it's the volcanoes underneath. There is over 80% of the volcanoes that are active now are underneath the sea. And if you have a look at the North Pole, the total opposite is happening.
Right, okay.
Absolutely, it is growing brilliantly.
What is it all fucking like?
It's going topsy-turvy. And don't forget at the moment as well, we're having
what
an
do you
issue.
mean? What's happening in the North Pole?
Well, the North Pole's the ice is growing bigger.
Oh, right. So
it's happening.
But the thing is, didn't we say a while back that the pole was due to shift?
Yeah.
So, and then...
And the pole is shifting. There is a big complaint now.
No, but we were talking that it was going to totally flip.
Yeah, but now, at the moment, it's hitting... scientists can't calculate certain things out now because the pole has shifted that much. There is major issues on calculating things out. So, not only to them, but to, like, GPS.
Okay,
GPS is needed by that
GPS
kind of stuff.
is like really kind of temperamental.
Satellites for
to
your
be
phone.
Fair, Google it. I mean, a few people have said this recently,
There's been
but
a lot of...
Google Maps lies to you.
Yeah.
Lies to you like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It takes you the wrong way.
Yeah.
It takes you like round the back of places.
Yeah.
It'll take... In fact, I think somebody was covering a story on another podcast about somebody basically following the GPS into a river. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Off cliffs as well. People have done. It's
why
like,
would
what
you?
the?
Even if you were following your GPS, if you got to a river, you wouldn't try and cross it, would you?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I think it was iced over, but it's not the point, is it?
No.
I'd still go. I don't think I fancy this. I think I'll find another route.
Exactly. Obviously, the person was a numpty.
Exactly. So what do you reckon then? So what do you reckon about the melt? Because you were telling me about kind of cycles and stuff like that earlier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because I was watching photo footage from 2000 till now. Over the years, how it's moved, how it's like dissipated and come back.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing is it's dissipating and coming back.
Well, these lakes in deserts, that just appear and then disappear. Yeah. So there's obviously all these crazy things that the world
Still
does,
a lot of
like
phenomena.
in terms of the, like you say, phenomena.
Yeah.
And in fact, that links to the next story quite well because it's kind of like there are certain things that are just weather phenomenon, natural occurrences.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not knocking climate change yet because obviously we have had an impact, right? But
that's a hat.
But I've always got to say you've got to still take into account the natural cycles of the planet.
Yeah.
Because
the
the planet's always changing. The planet's always evolving. The fact is that we're respecting the time that the Earth's been around.
Oh yeah.
So
less than
but we fucked it up that much in this short, space of time. Yeah. But the thing is, it's like before that there were ice ages and
10,000 years ago was the last ice age.
Exactly. And then before that, obviously there was jungles in the
ones.
Sahara. There was a sea.
Yeah.
The planet's changing, continental drift.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
The sands will drift off to somewhere else.
Yeah, in another future, we could be looking at the desert of the UK. Do you know what I mean?
And not only that, we'd be even splitting apart from countries or joining back together.
Yeah, joining back together. Imagine it all joined back together, back to Pangea. That'd be mental.
It reminds me of stuff like imagine yourself as an ant. The time difference and the emotion and everything around you will be different to what you are as a human.
Of course it is.
So imagine that as a planet.
We just constructed that sort of concept, though, just to make life easier for ourselves. Time. People, I mean, we work it out on a cycle that we can kind of multiply it by how long it takes for one cycle.
But
do you know what I mean?
Time is relevant as well.
Oh, that's a totally another story. Anyway, I've got one last story in my NASA news. A UFO object was put on Facebook with the title, "This is not a UFO," Forest Service says in a photograph.
And they're right.
And do you know what? It looks like a UFO. It kind of looks like the one out of what was that kid? The Flight of the Navigator.
Oh yeah.
It kind of looks like that shape.
Brilliant film, that.
Yeah, but golden.
Yeah.
And the photo's really cool, but like basically it's been posted and it went viral. And a US Forest Service had to post basically saying that it's not a UFO. It's nothing more than an unusual weather formation known as a electrical what's this? Electrical cloud.
See,
electrical cloud. That's what it's called.
Lately as well, over the last 20 years, I'd say, and it's proven
But obviously,
that a new variant of clouds and stuff are turning up.
I think
and
like
it's
funny though, because when people kind of go back to the Roswell incident and they're talking about like, oh, it was a weather balloon.
Yeah.
Well, maybe sometimes it is just a weather balloon.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like maybe it is just a cloud formation.
Yeah.
And like we were saying earlier about pareidolia, that you kind of just see what you want to see.
Yeah.
Or you see what your brain likens it to, because it's kind of trying to make sense of it. So
because it's confusing. It's confusing you, so your brain has to try and combine.
Well, all right, then here's an example for
shock.
you, right? Imagine you'd never seen a cow before, right?
Yeah.
And a cow didn't exist in your universe, yeah? And then I put a cow in front of you and said, you best describe it as something that
black and white dog.
Exactly, something that you know about.
Yeah, black and white dog that goes moo.
Exactly, yeah, exactly my point. You try and best describe it to something that exists in your world. So
have you seen that line over there that goes meow?
Yeah, exactly, man. So, it's all a case of kind of what your brain is able to kind of cobble together.
You don't know nothing until someone tells you what that is.
Exactly.
And everyone joins in and goes, you know what, that is right, we do time and the calendar, then we fuck up the world.
And the world's globe, which it is.
Yeah.
So, don't let me go down them roads. Because you know what?
What?
It is a globe. Well, no, it's more of a potato.
Oh, don't let the flat earthers hear you. You're nuts.
Well, they can go back and listen to the Flat Earth episode if they want to get.
Yeah, listen to the truth.
Pissy.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's
right.
lovely though.
That's me for the news. Have you got any more?
Yeah, I've got one from DARPA.
DARPA, go for it. DARPA now. DARPA, obviously, are known for the weather manipulation.
HARP
and stuff.
Yeah,
but
if they've also fucking around with
they've also had. We've also talked about like conspiracies of rather. First off, it started off as a kind of a religious experience thing where they were going to do the Project Bluebeam.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think like it moved into, an alien invasion would probably be more suited because everybody's affected by an alien invasion, whereas a religious experience, it's like...
Do you explain to the boys and girls what Project Bluebeam is?
Well, yeah, Project Bluebeam, it's like an experiment to use projection holograms by using sort of like crystalline substances in the sky, which most people think that's what the
UFOs.
No, the when they were doing the dusting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the cloud
right, yeah, when they were
off the thingy trails. Yeah, what are they called now? Chemtrails.
Chemtrails, yeah.
Right. So he's saying that they were pumping like a
metallic
thing, sort of substance into the air that would aid the projection process, right? Yeah. They were going to kind of use low electric frequencies to kind of fucking bamboozle people
make
into
you look like
believing
gods up
or
in the
even
sky.
hearing
because all the language is going to be in the person.
So this is what I read anyway. Yeah, it's a bit fucking convoluted, but basically that's it.
So it's hard, but that's true.
Right, but then obviously it turned into like from a religious experience into potentially a UFO fake invasion.
Yeah, so
you know what I mean?
The New World Order can take control, and actually, because what happens when people panic? They try to go to the government and go, please
no, they
help
don't.
us.
They go looting.
Well, that's after the looting, isn't it? Now we need feeding, so let's go to the government.
So go on anyway, right? So we've given them a bit of info. Yeah, I don't want to turn it into a full episode, right? So go on. What's the news story?
Well, there's a new contract that's just been given out to Aerojet, which is to work on technology on helping knock high-speed vehicles out of the sky.
Really?
Yeah.
So like a sonic boom weapon.
Well,
because this is it, right? Because this is the point. What the US military said was that because Russia are developing weapons that are able to fire off.
Yeah.
That
hypersonic speeds, basically.
Yeah, but like the US put money into the defense, right? So this boom sort of thing should be able to blow missiles out the sky. So essentially, right, what that means is Cold War. Yeah, because whatever they
Silent Cold War on
whatever
now,
they can fire at them, they can defend against.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a
put
stalemate.
Nuclear bombs as obsolete.
Well, would it though?
In a way, no. In a way, you're going to have to do it by having a small nuclear weapon to walk into.
Well, it puts people on edge
place.
again, where like it's like somebody can push a button at any moment. Do you know what I mean? Because even if you deflect it, it's going somewhere.
But
do you know what I mean?
But my question is it actually for nuclear weapons?
Yeah, because you were saying about space.
Yeah.
So go on, what
it's
do you reckon?
At least 5 times as fast as the speed of sound.
Okay.
That's fast. Now, what vehicle have we been talking about for a long time over the years? Yeah.
Spaceships.
And how fast do they go? They go pretty fast.
They go warp speed, Captain.
Yeah.
They go at least, they could do the Kessel Run in at least 12.5 parsecs.
Well, this could do it in 4.
Come on, what?
Yeah, they're spending $19.6 million on the project for defence purposes, but they haven't actually announced what purposes. And it's only for
the thing is, though,
atmosphere.
The point about a force, is you need a force to defend against something.
And we have a force, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a space force, man. I don't understand what the space force is.
And we have a planet director. Looking after the world.
Which planet? Just this one?
Earth. Yeah. Do you remember some woman got it?
Yeah,
couple
actually.
of years,
the director of the planet.
Yeah.
So if it all goes tits up, is she like the captain?
She's in charge.
She's in charge of the world.
Yeah, she's got to make sure like everything gets set
How
up.
the
like
fuck
that.
do you get that job?
Well, she applied for it like we did.
Oh, why did we apply for it?
Yeah.
Oh, we did, didn't we?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, yeah. Didn't even
get
get an
the
interview.
job,
Didn't even get an interview for that.
I was told I was too good. Too good for the job, so I went, all right, no props. I've got too many GCSEs.
Do you know what? I love it when NASA jobs come up because it's just funny to apply.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just
Imagine if you got
Imagine if they called you up and said, right, we want you.
we want you.
We
no
think
one else.
We think you've got all the attributes we're looking for.
Have you listened to our show?
And I'd be like, are you looking for a partially lazy stoner?
Yeah. Would you leave the show?
What, to go and do that?
Yeah.
To go
if
to
they said you have to go up to the ISS.
To what? For how long?
For 6 weeks.
Nah.
You won't do it?
Well, maybe you would because it's a one-off experience, but I don't know if I'd enjoy it. I think, do you know what's just conjured into my head? What? Howard from The Big Bang Theory.
Howard?
Howard, yeah, because he actually went up into space, didn't he, in an episode, but it was a case of that he was super excited to be an astronaut.
Yeah.
But when he was in the situation, he was wetting his pants. So,
wetting his pants, they were brown, mate.
And then the cabin fever sets in, do you know what I mean, by being in a confined environment.
Yeah.
And these astronauts who spend months up there.
Yeah, 6 months. In fact, the woman who just broke the record, 9 months, I think she was
9
up there.
months.
9 months.
Should have had a baby.
Long time, yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean?
That is a long time.
Well, there you go. It's fucked up, innit? It's like, I don't know.
When she gets down here.
What would you do if you had the opportunity to go up there?
As long as they've got me something to do up there, I don't think I'd still do the show. I'd do it from up there.
Yeah, of course.
Skype you, mate.
That was it. Somebody actually said on Twitter, how are you even, because an astronaut was tweeting pictures of the Earth, and she said, how are you even tweeting? You're in space. It's like satellites are like there.
Yeah.
Chill.
You've got satellites above there. They point in and go, bang.
I've got the best signal.
Australia can get me signal. They can send it to America. America can send it everywhere else.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's the news. Yeah, we've got some.
Really?
Have we got some shout outs this week? We have, of course we have.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have. Here's me being super unprepared.
I've got to make sure I do a shout out this week. Mother, yeah, she told me off last week.
But we do shout her out every week.
Exactly.
That's the point. What's the point? We actually put her in like
and Chris.
We
do shout you out.
We put them in the Patreon section, because we've got that much respect.
Yeah, exactly. Right behind the free Patreons. You come in.
Yeah. If you do want to join and be a Patreon, though, you've still got that opportunity to be shouted out first. And
in fact, we're thinking of an idea.
Oh, go on, Taylor. Give him your idea. You sure?
Should we do it?
Yeah, you do it.
All right. We're thinking of an idea of only Patreons and only Patreons only.
You can ask us a question.
Can give us a word to put anywhere in the show. So we have to say that word within the show. And we have to do it.
Any words.
Any words. As long as I can say the bloody thing, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying like the Welsh long name of a village. I couldn't say any of that.
Go.
Yeah, that's the fella.
That was definitely not the right thing. That was just made noises.
Yeah.
Well,
that's only for Patreons, and we'll start that from next week.
Well, big shout outs for our Patreons.
Yes,
who
hell yeah.
are
Swooshy Lucy.
Swoosh.
Yes, swoosh.
Well,
Big J.
Big J.
Yeah, man.
Big thanks to Big J.
Yeah, man.
And we got another one as well. Let me just try and find him because, like, obviously, I don't want him not to get the shout out.
Yeah.
But my notebooks are so full that, you know, it's one of them, innit? Got to locate them.
It is.
And I was a bit unprepared.
You were?
Well, no, it wasn't. It was the fact that this episode was super, super long. And
well,
it's like,
you've done a load of pages.
I've got a lot of notes. No, this isn't even the same book. This is
a different book?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, man.
I fill notebooks like the clappers, honestly.
Good job I bought you some paper today.
Right.
Thanks to Gaz.
What?
Thanks to me, bro.
Hang on, give me a minute.
Give you a minute.
I get so many episodes written in these books, right?
You do.
So you know what I mean?
You do. You need to underline or something.
I need a filing system is what I need.
You need a filing fax. You want to be a...
what, an 80s...
an 80s, yeah.
An 80s... What are they called
I
now?
was just trying to work out that name myself.
A yuppie.
Yuppie, that's it. Yes.
Yes. Big shout out to Brooke.
Yes, Brooke.
Pennington, who's our Patreon there
yes,
as well.
Thank you for joining us.
Big shout out to Susie and Chris.
Yes.
I'll do it again because obviously, you know, you're not listening, are you?
Yeah, no. They're probably asleep now.
Big shout out to the not so nice. The not so nice. I can't
not
say
so
it.
Nice Minnesota girls.
No, the not so Minnesota nice
girls.
Yes. Jesse and Jen,
yes,
who are our featured podcast, and you can check out their episode on the Never a Straight Answer website. Also, you can subscribe to them on Anchor and anywhere else you get your podcasts from. So yeah, big shout out to them. Big shout out to Jesse G.
Yes, Jesse.
Big shout out to EJ for providing some excellent research.
Yes, indeed.
Also, she's our blogger in the sub-basement.
She is. So
get over to the website and you can read some of her blogs. Yeah. Excellent stuff. And she's got a great one coming out in the next couple of... Well, basically, it's out. Go and get it on the website. All about cults. Fun with cults. Big shout out to the top 10
What's that cults
lads over at 10ish podcast.
Yes, 10ish.
And an incredible shout out to my good bud over at Deep in History podcast. He does some good stuff. I tell you what, if you're into your history, then check him out.
I've got some questions for him.
He's got some, honestly, go and have a word, man. They're so friendly. You know, he's really good podcast. So big shout out to Gareth.
Yes, Gareth. Keep on trucking, son.
Yeah, he's a good lad.
Rubber ducky.
In fact, he sent me some stuff over. In fact, he might have a surprise for us in the next couple of days anyway, or something, because he messaged me and he said he was. I can't tell you too much.
He's
at
not
the
pregnant,
moment.
Is he?
I'm not telling you too much at the minute.
Okay,
but he's a top lad.
Yes, he is.
Big shout out to Mr. Crabtree.
Yes, Crabtree,
the one and only original working the night shift.
Yes.
Big shout out to Valerie Bubbles.
Valerie.
Big shout out to Dave Hoge.
Yes, Dave.
And a big shout out to Liz Reader.
Yes, Lizzie.
And also the Killer Rabbit Boys and Grief Burrito.
Yes, Burrito.
Yes, Grief Burrito. Yeah. We love a bit of gaming.
Oh, yes, we do.
So, yeah, there you go. That's all the shout outs this week. If you want to go and check out the website, like I say, it's never a straight answer.co.uk.
We love everyone to come and have a look.
Yeah, subscribe, sign up, right? Because then you can leave comments and stuff. And also, you become one of our crew, one of the subscribed, if you like, one of the joined, one of our cult.
Yeah,
if you want to join a cult this year, join
us.
Join us.
Yeah. We're thinking of making a cult up.
Yeah. What would our? Well, I keep doing
finding
this.
out conspiracies.
I tell you what. No. I tell you what. If you join our cult, it's all about just good karma. Yeah. Like paying shit forward. Being nice to people.
Yeah.
Just being a good person. Doing something random nice acts of kindness stuff.
Yeah. Okay,
so you join up and then you're part of the cult. So there you go.
Okay.
And that's a promise.
Yeah.
And all your wildest dreams will come true.
With that.
So there you go. You can subscribe to us on all the podcast platforms, including Anchor,
everywhere.
iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Castbox, Spreaker. Where else? Wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. We're there.
Yeah,
we're literally dominating every single podcast platform going. And if there's a new one, I try and get on that as well.
Yeah.
So check us out. Subscribe, tell your friends, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell your co-workers.
Tell your neighbours.
Yeah, tell the bloke in McDonald's. Tell the guy. Do you know when you're in a nightclub and the guy comes over with aftershave and he goes, do you want a spray, sir? Say, I don't want to spray, but have you heard the Never a Straight Answer podcast?
Hey, that's a good idea, that. Right? Yeah.
Tell your butcher. Yeah. I don't care. Tell anyone.
Fishmonger.
Fuck it. Yeah. You and your fish.
Yeah. In fact, someone go and knock on the Queen's door and tell her.
Tell Harry.
And maybe the family. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Harry. Yeah. Harry might be able to help us out a bit.
Anyway, thank you for listening. New listeners and returning repeat offenders.
Yes.
We love you, every one of you.
Yes, we do.
Have we got anything else? What else normally do we cover in this last bit? Well, we've done all the website stuff because you can get all your merch and shit on there as well. So other than that, Patreon, if you want to help us out and you've enjoyed the show, or you enjoy one of the shows we've done,
or you want to put in a word in the show,
or if you want to put a word in the show, then get over to Patreon and get on that, because obviously it helps us out. It means that when they finally come and take away the equipment, we can buy it again.
And we can go nowhere.
Yay.
Back time and time again.
Yay. Also, we're going to start doing the Amazon affiliate links. So if you're interested in buying any of the books about the topics and stuff we cover, then links are going to start appearing in the description. So use it. And that helps us out as well. And plus, I think if you just follow the link and buy any old Amazon stuff, then it all goes. We get a bit of
change.
Bit of change after that as well. Yeah. So it's not even like you're helping us without even knowing it.
Yeah.
Because you're
still buying your own goods.
You're just buying your stuff.
Yeah.
You're just still buying your.
In fact, we're taking from Amazon.
Yeah.
Not you. Think of it that way. I like it that way.
Well, do that pleasure for us. Right, anyway, and on that note, I think that's it. I think it's been a long enough show, and if you're still listening at this point, we fucking love you.
Yeah.
Because you're absolute beasts. Thank you. Anyway, right, that's me. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
And you've been listening to another episode of Never a Straight Answer. Join us next week where we'll be covering another fucked up topic.
Yeah, we will.
I'm pretty sure. And see what we've got to say about it.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time.
A lot.
Peace.
Out. Fishmongers. Did you really say? No, I said it, didn't I?
You always fucking with the fish.